6:30 on Friday the 25th, 97.3 Citi FM. We're taking over from Nana Tufo Boateng and the Citi Breakfast News. Hezekiah Walker. Beautiful, beautiful song. One of my favorites. Faithful, faithful is our God. Holy, holy is our God. I'm reaping the harvest God promised me, taking back what the devil stole from me, and I rejoice today, for I shall recover it all. So it says you can pursue, overtake, and recover. Yeah, that dream is not lost. You can pursue it, overtake, and recover. It's a powerful song, a great charge for a fantastic morning. And I'm sure you know this already, that everything you need in your life that you don't have is out of your comfort zone. So if you want it, you have to pursue it. Stretch. And you won't grow to your full potential until you're prepared to move out of your comfort zone. Comfort zone is things you do with ease, without much effort or application. And so to get to the next level will require you to stretch beyond your comfort zone. Pursue. It requires exertion. It requires sacrifice. It requires deliberate, intentional following. So it's not a passive charge, it's an active engagement of pursuit of a noble dream. And as we've said before, the nobility of a dream does not guarantee its accomplishment. Pursuit is the price you pay to accomplish great dreams. If you believe your dreams are better than those of others, let the effort, let the commitment, let the discipline, let the energy, let the consistency prove that you believe that is a noble dream. We like songs like these because they remind us of what we can do if we have the right mindset. Friday mornings are interesting because we start with a regular, but we also have the business edition at 7:10 before we open up the floor for mini discussions. Today, lots of things to talk about to drive you to your morning workplace. What's the latest from the Tamale Teaching Hospital? The doctors want that apology. What's going to happen? Receive some very, very concerning, I will call them letters from listeners, from all kinds of things. Some are complaining about power outage. Some are complaining about land grabbers winning sand. And some are saying things are too expensive. I don't even know where to start from today. Maybe I'll start with the newspapers, and it's brought to us by Total Excel. It's a 3-in-1 action formula that lowers your fuel consumption, reduces your CO2 emissions, and cleans your engine. Experience the difference with Total Energy's Excellium new formula. The segment is also brought to you by Fidelity Bank. From the dreams of youth to the ambitions of adulthood, wherever you are on your journey, we are there to support you with the right support, advice, finance. Let's turn your dreams into reality. At Fidelity Bank, we believe in your journey. Believe with us. Oh my God, I shall recover it all. If you're craving something exotic, if you're looking for something classic, a fruity adventure, don't forget the Piva Beverage Group is now out with 5 fantastic flavors. It's available at your local store. Insist on Piva, a taste you certainly love. We'll look at the headlines when we come back on a busy Friday morning. This is 97.3 Citi FM. Stay with us.
This is Citi 97.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangerine. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-322-31. Piva, a taste you'd love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
Oh, jump on now. Go, the go. Go me. At what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small. The go. Yo, Anna. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let's go. My buddy, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling, oh, you go work, but you know it's out in your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, oh, cause you know it's out in your side. And when you dream, no say I live by you. And when you hustle every day, many wanna go. Anything you do, I live by you. Many want. If I believe I live your side, fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. If I know I live your side, fidelity.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
All the tears from my eyes in times when the storms and the We know we must win the fight. Ooh, when the wicked try come and eat upon thy flesh, we know that Jah, He is the best over trials and tribulations, because Jah shall wash away all the tears from my eyes. In times when the storms and the tides are raging high, we know we shall win, and we know we'll survive. Yeah. Jah shall wash away all the tears. We keep on fighting and fighting, against the wicked in high and low places. No matter what they
Jumping straight into the newspaper review segment, I'm here with Fred Tete Jabano. A very busy Friday morning with lots of stories. Fred, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Bernard. Good morning,
So
Bernard.
let's start off with the big ones: the Daily Graphic, the Ghanaian Times, the Daily Guide, and of course the Herald. What's the graphic saying this morning?
So the graphic says free pass for 2 million schoolgirls. Move to restore dignity. President.
Okay.
FIC probes are contaminating wound to me. Halt suspension of CJ. Otafu MP tells Supreme Court a new sanitation laws required. MP. That's the graphic.
The Zoom Lion story is everywhere, but there are different angles. So if you go to the Chronicle, it will be dangerous not to renew Zoom Lion contracts, says Parliamentary Committee Chair on Sanitation. That's the angle they take. I know the Daily Guy takes a different angle to the Zoom Lion story. Before that, though, the Chronicle also says Tafu MP wants CJ's removal process halted, and minority condemns president's brazen judicial coup. These are the Chronicle front page stories.
Yeah, so Daily Graphic, don't renew Zoom Lion contract. It stinks. Manasseh tells YEA boss. NACOC seeks 73 cocaine slabs bound for Netherlands. FIC probes McDan wound to me over financial transactions. 1 killed, 3 injured as soldiers opened fire on mourners and reversed Tokonu suspension as a forward to Supreme Court.
So that was the Daily Guide. Now, if you go to the Herald, Nitibul and others spend 8.8 million on 53-year-old Soviet military vehicle from Azerbaijan's scrapyard. Quite an interesting front page story there. Also, Ghana Bar takes measured stance on Chief Justice matter. No faults, no blame, promises rule of law. In other stories, Mama gives update on Vice President health recuperating and very well. And then Ghana rolls out chip embedded passports on Monday.
The publisher, Ghanaian publisher, says MPs propose fund to tackle sanitation. NDC base angry over lands commission job. Police under pressure to stop Galamsey. And CDM fires Mahama over CJ suspension. MP files suit to halt process.
The Ghanaian Times is talking about malaria. Observing World Malaria Day, commit resources to eliminate malaria. Professor Fred Binka is photographed here. Also, President launches free sanitary pad initiative to benefit 2 million girls. There's another angle to Zoom Lion this morning. They have been assured of government 1.2 billion debt settlement. And then DVLA launches community outreach to improve service delivery.
The news center, police seek to block anti-Galamsey Demonia Jubilee House. Unified African tech strategy crucial to build and own its technology for assured future. Margins ID CEO and Samira's project helps Saboba achieve zero maternal non-natal deaths. And Valerie, the amputee, giving 1,000 other amputees new life.
The Inquisitor is on the Chief Justice removal. Arabes head on the guillotine with a very interesting photograph here. Also, Gold Board begins licensing of gold vendors in Ghana. The National Service military training starts August 25, and World Bank to create 500,000 jobs for Ghanaian youth every year.
The Informer, don't be selective in Galamsey fight. Coalition against advises government. Health Minister appeals to doctors, urge dialogue to resolve impasse. Shun religious tribal politics. Baumia urges Ghanaians. Army Chief warns Boku troublemakers, and we will sanitize Ramsar site. TDC boss warns.
The BNFT technology offers best bet to tackle tax revenue leakages. Dr. Boachi Adam story on page 3. Also, MP assures Zoom Lion of government debt resettlement, and then traveling from Accra to Kumasi is a nightmare. I'll give you an update on this story. I agree with the story. Now it's taking you anything between 5 to 6 hours, sometimes even 7, to get from Accra to Kumasi and back. It's really, really tiring. Meanwhile, $9 billion lost annually to corruption, tax evasion, and smuggling. And Venture Capital Trust Fund welcomes President's push for National Venture Capital Fund.
The Daily Post. President Mahama launches free sanitary pads for girls in schools. Acting CJ directs registrars to submit all new cases, applications for court assignments, hearing dates.
All right, and of course, the Catholic Standard. Adieu, Pope Francis. Bishops, national leaders pay tribute to him. There's a book of condolence opened at the Apostolic Nunciature, and then the editorial says Pope Francis, the pontiff, who walked faithfully with the people of God. Let me give you 2 quick online headlines. CitiNewsroom.com. World Bank cuts Ghana's growth forecast to 3.9%. Mahama directs GS to promote all eligible deputy directors. And then staff fraud cases in banks hit 365 in 2024. That means that every day one fraud. Basically, one day. Can you imagine 365 fraud cases in 2024? So every day of the year there was a bank officer who committed fraud. And then this Doom Lion thing keeps coming up everywhere. It's also on citinewsroom.com as well. Meanwhile, if you go to Channel 1 News, stalled Eastern Region Hospital will be completed. Parliamentary Select Committee on Health says this. And then support government to reform public sector, Smith Graham. Meanwhile, Oko Vanderpool has been speaking. Agitations for MMDC appointments are usual. Now let's get into the details. Let's start with the president's engagements in the graphic.
So the president has been launching the free path for 2 million schoolgirls, and the graphic says President John Dramani Mahama has described the National Sanitary Pad Distribution Program as a bold step towards restoring dignity, confidence, and equal opportunity for schoolgirls in the country. This initiative is more than just a distribution of sanitary pads. It's a clear declaration that no girl in Ghana should miss school because of her menstrual period, he said at the launch of the program in Accra yesterday. Well,
we know that program will benefit 2 million girls. There are 3 stories on Zoom Lion I want to contextualize. So if you take the Chronicle, the parliamentary committee seems to be rooting for Zoom Lion in some contracts, but Mr. Manasseh Azure and the Daily Guide don't seem to agree. So if you go to Chronicle, they say Chairman of the Parliament Select Committee on Sanitation and Water Resources, John Oti Bless, has rejected calls by Manasseh for the government not to renew Zoom Lion Ghana's contract over the sanitation implementation package. In an open letter to Malik Basintale, who is the CEO of YEI, Manasseh, who is a celebrated investigative journalist, urged him not to sign a new contract with Zoom Lion, saying that the contract showing that the deal is just the cleanest deal is just one of them, and it stinks to the heavens. However, addressing journalists after a tour of the Zoom Lion Kumasi compost and recycling plant in Kumasi, Mr. Oti Bless disagreed with the journalists, warning that thousands of Ghanaians who are employed by the company would lose their jobs if the contract is not renewed. So this seems to be something that has been brewing in the past few days. The Ghanaian Times chooses a different angle. They just said that Zoom Lion has been assured that government will pay their debt. So apparently the government owes the company 1.2 billion cedis in debt. So the Daily Guide angle is that Manasseh says
he's against it. They say investigative journalist Manasseh Azure Awuni has issued a strong warning to Malik Basintale, the chief executive officer of the Youth Employment Agency, urging him not to renew the sanitation contract with the waste management company, Zoom Lion Company Limited. In a passionate appeal published this week on his Facebook wall, Manasseh described the proposed deal as a theft and declared that it stinks to the heavens.
Now, stay with the Daily Guide. I saw a couple of stories about probes where FIC is supposedly probing 2 people for some things. If you can give us the highlight.
This story came out yesterday where we heard that the FIC was probing.
This is the Financial Intelligence Commission Center. Okay.
So this is what Daily Guide says. The Financial Intelligence Center of Ghana has requested detailed financial records from McDan Group as part of ongoing investigations into suspected money laundering. In a letter signed by FIC Chief Executive Officer Albert Kojochu Boafo, which has surfaced online, the center indicated that it had received intelligence suggesting that Between January 2020 and December 2024, the company engaged in substantial financial transactions with various entities. In a related development, the FIC has reportedly frozen all bank accounts belonging to Bernard Entribesiako, popularly known as Chairman Wuntumi, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the opposition New Patriotic Party, as well as accounts held by his mining company, Aponta Mining Company Limited. According to reports, the action was taken under Section 56(1) of the Anti-Money Laundering Act amid ongoing investigations into alleged financial irregularities.
Now, I'm going to give you two stories related to the army. The Herald says Nitiwol and others spent $8.8 million on 53-year-old military vehicles from Azerbaijan scrapyard. I mean, it says the Herald has uncovered troubling information regarding the procurement of 20 armored vehicles by the Ghana Armed Forces manufactured during the era of the former Soviet Union. The vehicles, now 53 years old, have been described by this paper's military insiders as death traps, quote unquote. These vehicles are reportedly non-functional and pose a serious risk to the lives of Ghanaian soldiers serving in the United Nations Interim Security Force for Abyei in Sudan. The vehicle's firing posts are said to be inoperable. Each vehicle reportedly costs $440,000, bringing the total expenditure to about $8.8 million. They are supplied by Messrs. Double ST Limited and sourced from Azerbaijan. And then it gives other details. Technical reports indicate that the vehicles suffer from significant mechanical defects, and really very troubling if true. Staying with the military, the Daily Guide has a story that is very troubling, that some soldiers have basically fired into a funeral program, killing a man instantly. And I thought that really needs to be investigated, if you have that story for us. So it says that there was a funeral happening somewhere, and then some soldiers basically just fired into the group. Maybe I'll find that story for you in a different newspaper.
Before we go to that, let's look at NARCOC seizes 73 cocaine slabs bound for Netherlands. The Narcotic Control Commission has intercepted 73 slabs of suspected cocaine at Swiss port in Tema, Greater Accra region, during a routine inspection on Wednesday, April 23, 2024. The illicit cargo, weighing approximately 89.74 kilograms, was concealed within a consignment set for export to the Netherlands. Authorities said the seizure forms part of heightened efforts to clamp down on drug trafficking through the country's ports.
This is very troubling indeed. Now, the one that concerned me was the story where on page 6 of the Daily Guide, 1 killed, 3 injured as a soldier fires into a group of mourners. And the story basically says, it's on page 3 actually, a tragic incident unfolded in Yinehini in Ashanti on Thursday when armed soldiers allegedly opened fire on a group of mourners, killing 1 and injuring 3 others during a funeral procession. Now, this is the issue. The deceased is called Akwesi Lala, known as Kushivi 37, reportedly confronted by the soldiers for wearing a military uniform while on his way to a cemetery with other mourners to bury a friend. Eyewitnesses say the soldiers traveling in a military vehicle and headed towards Bibiani stopped the procession at approximately 11 a.m. and about 6 soldiers alighted from the vehicle, ordered the man to remove the military attire. When he was in the process of undressing, one of the soldiers shot him in the head, killing him instantly. The soldiers then fired indiscriminately into the crowd of mourners, injuring 3 others. The injured were rushed to the Yinehini Government Hospital. We really want the Military High Command, Minister of Defense, to investigate this very senseless act conducted by people who are paid with taxpayers' money to protect our borders, not to be indiscriminately shooting people. So this is a story on page 3 of the Daily Guide, and I think they should follow up on it.
We go to the news center. Police seek to block anti-Galamsey demo near Jubilee House. The Ghana Police Service has filed an application at the High Court in Accra seeking to alter the location and timing of a planned demonstration organized by the Generational Rights Protection Society, led by activist and broadcaster Okateche Efifa Mensah. The protest, scheduled for April 28 and 29, is intended to call out successive governments for their failure to protect the environment from ravages of illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey.
Stop Galamsey now. This fight continues. Now, I'll give you quickly the GBA's view on the CJ. Ghanaian Times has the story. Although there are very different angles being put to it. For example, the Herald says GBA takes measured stance on Chief Justice matter. No faults, no blame, promise rule of law. Very interesting observation they make. But the Ghanaian Times basically says the GBA has urged actors involved in the process of removal of the CJ to not to let the rule of law guide or be their guiding principle. This was contained in a statement signed and issued by the national president of the association, Efuagati, and Kweku Jewu, national secretary of the association. Then it gives the details, but it's interesting to note the angle. So it's quite measured, and they're basically asking both sides, because of course there have been many things. There have been leakage of the petition and the response and all of this. So the GBA says let the law guide us, and I think it's a very good statement they put out.
On the same issue, the MP for Otafo has gone to the Supreme Court, and he is asking the Supreme Court to put a halt to the suspension and the work of the investigative committee. In the application for interlocutory injunction filed yesterday, he's also seeking an order from the Airport Court to put on hold the action that could lead to the potential impeachment of the Chief Justice until the final determination of his writ challenging the constitutionality of the manner in which the President has handled the intended impeachment process. So the member of Parliament for Otafo
is in court
wants
again
a suspension of the current process ongoing.
The standard story I like here, Archbishop Kofi reminds Mahama of Galamsey promise, and I think it's a very good one on page 3, the Catholic Standard ever leading the charge. But let me end with the BNFT. Traveling from Accra to Kumasi is a nightmare. This is a news desk report, and I want to commend the paper for doing this. Now, the Accra-Kumasi Highway, a strategic economic corridor linking the nation's two most economically significant cities, is drawing renewed concern as deteriorating road conditions compromise commuter safety, disrupt economic activity, and pose potential health risks. Despite its status as the country's most traveled roadway, sections of the highway remain in disrepair, characterized by incomplete construction works, large potholes, and uneven surfaces. As a result, the route has become a choke point for both commuters and freight transporters. Now, I used this route on Monday to Suhum, and I tell you, I agree with this. The stretch from Amasaman through to Nsawam in the eastern region is terrible. Some parts have been graded, but others remain untouched. The potholes so deep they resemble manholes. I'll give you details of this during the main show, and I urge the road minister to get on to make sure this road is finished in time.
Bernard, let's go to the Ghanaian publisher. It says NDC base angry over lands commission job.
Okay.
The appointment of Professor Anthony Owusu-Ansah as executive secretary of the Ghana's Lands Commission has ignited fierce backlash within the National Democratic Congress. Far from being a routine bureaucratic shuffle, this decision has become a litmus test for the party's integrity, accountability, and loyalty to its grassroots. Professor Owusu-Ansah's ties to the opposition New Patriotic Party are well documented and widely acknowledged. During his tenure as Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration at GIMPA, he closely associated with Professor Samuel Ubunsu, the current rector, and an open MPP loyalist. Bonsu's controversial 2-year contract extension in December 2024, granted by the previous MPP administration, was met with public scrutiny and dissent.
And so now his association with this man, oh my lord, and there's all kinds of agitations over other appointments as well. Thank you, Fred. We'll leave it here. Fred Javano helping me with the newspaper review segment. Coming up next is the City Business News, swiftly followed by the City Business Edition. Stay with us.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
And of course, the City Business News brought to us by EcoBank. Every day people face different emergencies, police, fire, and medical. But many Ghanaians don't know their emergency numbers. Well, here's one you want to remember. It's called the EcoBank Money Emergency Number. And guess what? It's simple. *770#. Now, *770# gives you instant access to loans, funds transfers, utility payments, airtime and data purchases, and so much more, even without data. So there's no need to panic when you find yourself in any money emergency. Dial *770# now for solutions to your money emergencies. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Nashika Caesar here with the Friday edition. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Abley. Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil, and EcoBank. I'm Nashika Caesar. Coming up, Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana calls for zero political interference in the rollout of Feed Ghana initiative. Also coming up, Ghana Chamber of Mines commends government and Goldfields Ghana Limited for striking strategic deal to revive Damang Mine, and later industry players intensify efforts to accelerate growth of small and medium enterprises. Let's settle for the details of our stories now. The Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana is calling on the government to desist from politically interfering in the rollout of the newly launched Feed Ghana initiative. According to the association, political involvement in the distribution of agricultural inputs under the previous Planting for Food and Jobs program, particularly in its second phase, significantly undermined the program's impact. They fear a repeat could jeopardize the success of the current initiative. Daniel Udrumensa has more in the following report.
On April 12, 2025, the government launched the Feed Ghana program as a flagship initiative under the broader Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda. The program aims to create jobs, reduce food inflation, and drive agro-industrial development. The earlier Planting for Food and Jobs program, implemented in two phases, moved away from direct input subsidies toward a smart agricultural input credit system linked to structured market arrangements. To ensure the effective rollout of the new agricultural policy, the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana is urging the government to hand over its implementation to the technical experts at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and avoid undue political influence.
Once we have moved on from PFD to Feed the Ghana program, some of these things should be avoided. The political machinations should be extremely avoided in the program. There are very competent regional and district directors of agric. If you go to MUFA, they have very experienced technical people who can handle the program. Let's leave the program to these technical people to handle. The politicians should back off.
That was Executive Director of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, Bismarck Norte, ending that report filed by Daniel Odru-Mensah. Now, the Ghana Chamber of Mines is commending the government and Goldfields Ghana Limited for reaching a constructive agreement on the transition arrangement for the Daman mine. The Chamber welcomes the decision to issue a new 12-month mining lease to Abosso Goldfields Limited, a subsidiary of Goldfields, which will enable the safe resumption of open-pit mining during the transition period. The joint commitment to maintaining jobs, progressing feasibility studies, and ensuring continuing processing of stockpiles underscored shared interest in sustaining mining operations for the benefit of employees, local communities, and the broader Ghanaian economy. The Chamber acknowledges the establishment of a joint asset transition team comprising representatives from both parties to oversee eventual transfer of the Daman mine to Ghanaian ownership. Now to some other stories. The Venture Capital Trust Fund is intensifying its efforts to enhance operational efficiency as part of a broader strategy to accelerate the growth of small and medium enterprises (SMEs) across Ghana. The Trust Fund maintains that its interventions have so far supported the creation of 30,000 jobs, contributing to national economic growth and youth employment. Speaking to the media at the launch of the fund's 20-year impact report, the Chief Executive Officer Michael Abe highlighted the fund's evolving role in building a resilient SME sector.
In terms of the investment opportunities, we've been able to, given the little we've had, invested in about 14 venture capital finance companies or fund managers, who in turn have invested in close to 80 businesses in Ghana. And usually with our investment strategies, when we invest, we expect that there is a close, there is an investment duration, and at a point, a stage where we expect returns. And when we get to that stage, we either have ways or other models of exiting. And so far, we've had 14 successful exits out of the 80 companies or businesses we've invested in. As a result, we've created close to 30,000 jobs to support government of Ghana's job creation agenda. Again, most of these companies we invest in through our fund managers have paid taxes to the state, which is, of course, a support given to government of Ghana's developmental agenda through, taxes they've paid.
You heard there the CEO of Venture Capital Trust Fund, Michael Abbey, speaking there. Now let's have a quick market check on the currency board across some forex bureaus. And the dollar is going for 16 cedis. The British pound is going for 20 cedis, 40 pesos, while the euro is going for 17 cedis, 30 pesos. Remember that these are the rates being offered by the forex bureaus to the public. And that's all for the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Coil, and EcoBank. I'm Nashika Caesar. Many thanks for your company. Do have a great business day.
Charlie, where are you?
Boss man, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Wale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
City Business Edition coming up shortly. Lots of different concerns being sent across. Listeners from Takrady are complaining about Doomso. They say it's gradually creeping back into the system. It says, Bernard, good morning. Oh, the Doomso is bad. Oh, the people are taking us for granted. Nobody's telling us anything. It's back to back every day, and it's been so for the past 4 days. I've had to go to bed without electricity as I'm talking to you. I'm in darkness. So that's one issue that's come up on my radar this morning. Yesterday, we filed a report on the Accra-Kumasi Road. Philip Nilate put that together. BNFT has also put a story together on the Accra-Kumasi Road. And I really think it needs to be treated as a major national priority. Indeed, that corridor has had a lot of work going on, but it's still not the best. I don't know the last time you drove to Kumasi. How long did it take you? It's a very serious situation indeed. We'll highlight it for you this morning on the show. A listener sent me a story about food prices in Ghana, and he was, I don't know why people send me messages around 1 a.m. I don't know whether he couldn't sleep or whether he was calculating his money. I mean, why would you send me? You get it, why? So this, Charlie, about food, there's things are expensive, and you send this message to me when I'm asleep. I don't know. So you want me to wake up and read it? So a whole list of things, like things are so expensive, blah blah blah. We discussed that recently. We'll probably link it to transportation. Why is food expensive? Possibly because there is a challenge with farm gate to fork or whatever. We'll deal with all of that. What's the latest with Tamalete Hospital? Well, the doctors are saying the minister should apologize. The minister said some things yesterday. I'm not sure whether that qualifies as a full apology. He was basically trying to say, let sleeping dogs lie. Please go back to work, etc., etc. The people are like, Charlie, you gotta apologize. So we'll see how that goes. Now, this morning, I'm going to bring you a presentation by one of my favorite people. And he is the senior partner of AB and David Africa, David Fosudote, and he's just an amazing guy. He recently spoke at the Swedru Conversations, and he just makes sense when he talks. So I'm going to bring you highlights of what he said at the Swedru Conversations. It was a discussion on leadership, and he was talking about bold solutions for Ghana's leadership and governance challenges. Bold solutions. Sometimes it's important to bring something like this that sort of synthesizes everything we've been saying for the past God knows how many years. And I think David is quite an expert in that kind of thing. So I'm going to bring you highlights of his presentation at the Swedu Conversations. And this was within the context of the tariff imposition, USAID pullout, escalating trade tensions. This was a few weeks ago. So it was a really important conversation. What should we do to be economically viable as a country? So David is a lawyer, but he's much more than a lawyer. He's joining us, or we'll be hearing from him this morning. But let me tell you a few things. If you're looking for the best data value, or the best value data rather, and voice offers that are tailored to your unique needs, well, Telecel understands that everyone has their unique preference. That's why we have the unbeatable made for me bundles just for you. Now, these bundles are affordable, customized data and voice packages personalized for you. Simply dial *530# or download the Telecel Play app to subscribe to your special made for me bundle. Telecel, connecting energies. And sending money to Nigeria, the Gambia, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Kenya, Djibouti, Zambia and Zimbabwe has never been this easy, never been this convenient. Through the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, you can send and receive money from these countries in minutes for both business and personal use. You can also receive money via opening an account with First Bank Ghana. So visit any of our branches with your cash. You can send your money, open an account, you can receive your money. For more information, call 059 69 21 921. 059 69 21 921. First Bank, you first. And don't forget, the University of Ghana is offering a master's degree program in law. You don't have to be a lawyer. You just need a first degree from a recognized university. Get a second lower. You are ready to go. It's Mondays to Fridays, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you have great opportunities. Call 053-128-2413 or 053-133-0203 or WhatsApp 055-137-1319. Join us at the University of Ghana School of Law for world-class legal education. City Business Edition is up next. Highlights of David Ofosu-Dorte speaking at the Swedu Conversations on bold leadership solutions for a country called Ghana. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Please wait. Please wait. Please wait until I get my new car. Please wait until I find my real size. I'm gonna get me some love so bad. My girl, sweet girl, my girl. I can see.
I congratulate Swesco and PSCs for initiating these thought leadership sessions. In a society where there are many problems like the ones we have, it is easy to get so overwhelmed with the problems that we may stop thinking. So events like this bring us back to the need to check what we are missing and the fact that we must continue reflecting on the challenges we face as a people and how to solve them without creating more problems than we sought to solve. Recently, I don't know how many of you saw the op-ed I wrote about the intention to privatize the ECG or to have private sector participation. I tend to speak openly. I like to call myself a free thinker, and I share my views without restrictions. And in that, I said I chose to put out the op-ed because very often when we seek to solve problems in this country, we often end up creating more problems than we initially sought to solve. And we forget that much as every problem has a solution, every solution creates a problem. And it is important that in solving things, we take a look at what it may create and prevent them. And it is in that essence that I put that out. So having said that, I welcome such thought leadership sessions by an old students union, a body, because without such thought leadership sessions, our ideas will not be factored into the discussions and it will fall between the NDC and MPP divide, which we always fall into. Now, I also like the fact that it is a conversation approach. And I was asked before I came whether I was going to do a PowerPoint presentation, and I said, I was told by the PACs that it's a conversation. In a conversation, you just keep chatting. So I like the conversation approach because it takes us beyond just what we present here to what will go into our homes, our cars, our offices, etc. Now the topic. I like to see things as straightforward as possible. So when I saw the topic, I was a bit frightened. The political leadership conundrum, the balanced leadership and change. The first thing I did was to look for the meaning of conundrum. What exactly is conundrum? Is it some Swiss school term or something? But I found out the meaning. And I like the topic. Now, why is the topic on political leadership? It tends to coincide with my own beliefs that not all of us can go into politics, and I have been asked several times and invited into politics by all sides of political device, and I've always said I won't go into politics. However, I hold a very strong belief that politics is just too important to leave it to the politicians alone. So much as we all cannot go in, it is very important because whatever they do affects us all. And that is the reason why we must continue making our comments known at each point in time that we can afford to. So like I said, I checked a few words. One of them is leadership. And I like to keep things simple. Leadership simply means to me somebody who makes things better than they met it. That's my simple definition of leadership. If you don't believe that, then essentially you are just a position occupant. The second thing is a conundrum. And I understood it to mean a confusing problem. Something that is difficult to solve. Then I looked at change. And it says making things different. In other words, can political leaders overcome the chaos to have an effective positive change? That's actually how I see the topic. So if you strip it off the conundrum, it is simply how our political leaders can make positive change. That's how I see it. Now, leaders in Africa tend to get blamed a lot for the things they do and the things they don't do. But why not? Who else are we supposed to blame? Because if they come saying that they can solve our problems and they don't solve it, then we must blame them. I lead an organization, and I'm a leader in my own right. I lead a group of about 140 people across many countries, and I take the blame when I make mistakes. So I believe that leaders should take the blame when they do make mistakes, and they should take the success when they actually succeed. But we cannot talk about political leadership in Africa or in Ghana in particular, looking at only the current political leaders. Because what we call today is what used to be tomorrow yesterday. So whatever problems we are having now comes from a series of things that probably must have happened in the past that we need to confront. And it is in that regard that I chose to go back to our type of leadership we have had over the years. And the first I want to address is the leadership from chieftaincy. Because we have always had leaders in one form or the other. Now, I'm fond of making tweets. And one of the things I often talk about is how our chiefs behave. And I'll be touching on chiefs a couple of times. The other kind of leaders I saw is fetish priests, because not all tribes in Ghana are necessarily led by chiefs. There are some tribes where the fetish priest was also the chief. So he spoke to God or the gods, gave the law, and was also the executor or the executioner of the law. Then we have those who became leaders by conquest. They conquered another and they occupied lands, and over the period they leave their lineage, who then became the chief subsequently. So they may not have gone to war, but by the conquest of their forefathers, they became leaders by inheritance. Then we've had the modern leaders, and they come in all forms. And all these are political leaders. Until we had a modern form of society, all these were political leaders, properly so called. The modern leaders have come in the form of freedom fighters, including those who fought for independence. Then we've had the post-colonial leaders, where after having attained what we sought to attain, we now have to do something with it. One of the lessons that we forget in leadership is that what brings us here often does not keep us here or take us to where we want to go. There's a difference between the journey to lead and what we do to make the people that we lead better after having attained it. So there are a lot of post-colonial failures and successes as well. Then we have the soldiers, some of whom were adventurous and overthrew the post-colonial leaders. So these are other types of political leaders we have had. Then we've had leaders from our ancient times who were not necessarily chiefs, because Africa has had its own fair share of empires and kingdoms. Songhai, Mali, ancient Ghana, the Zulus, the Kushites are all examples of things that have happened in the past with our political leaders. Mansa Musa, his wealth is talked about, Sundiata. Many find it surprising whenever their attention have been drawn to the fact that as early as 1235, Mansa Musa's kingdom, or Sundiata's kingdom, had a written constitution called the Kura Futa. Now, the date 1235 is actually given by the British. Some of us who are cynical have reason to suspect that the date was manipulated by the colonialists in order for it to be seen that the written constitution happened after 1215 Magna Carta. Because there are those who believe that the Kura Futa existed far ahead of Magna Carta. But that's neither here nor there. It remains the fact that Africa had earlier invented its own form of writing and had universities. After all, the Timbuktu University is the oldest university in the world by records. Smelting of iron, mathematics, etc. In some of the Greek writings, they talk about having learned from Africa. Now we tend to conceive writing in terms of the letters that we know in English and French. But we forget that in many languages, writing is symbols too. The Chinese and most Eastern languages to this day, the writing is nothing but symbols. And in the Egyptian language, hieroglyphics, which are symbols, were writing too. So the Dinkra symbols and the rest we have around us are actually evidence that we invented our own form of writing. The difference, though, is that our leaders seem to suffer a very big fault. The fault of sticking to the things which are so old that it prevents them from moving forward. I have postulated, and I tweeted about this, I think yesterday or a couple of days ago, that there are three enemies to the future. The first enemy are those who benefit from old systems, and because they benefit from it, they don't want new systems and new innovation to come. The second enemy are those who, even though they have new ideas about new systems, neither put them out nor implement it, and feel lazy to implement it. They are the most dangerous of the three enemies. The third enemy are the masses who rise to the defense of those who keep the old system and who are the very people who made them powerless. These are the three enemies, and these three enemies have affected Africa in many, many ways. So whereas we may be reading about the Ottoman Empire, the Roman Empire, Julius Caesar, and all the rest, we read very little about our own empress. But why is this important to me? Because I trace the things that they did to this very day. And it appears that the very idea of being a leader is constituted in our minds as something which exists by itself, exists in itself. It's intrinsic. So for many Africans, including Ghanaians, leadership is intrinsic. It is not meant to achieve a goal or to become better or make the people's life better than we met it. So we occupy it and we enjoy it. I reflected this in a tweet in September 2022, where I said, and some people may feel uncomfortable about it, especially if you are a chief. My apologies in advance. I say it as it is. The tweet said, we may feel good And we may feel good with abundant wealth and proud to have our arms adorned with gold, whilst being carried shoulder high in a village with no water, power, or hospital, and whose gold is owned by foreigners. So far as we cherish greed and pomposity, we will overlook our insignificance. When we attain leadership, it appears that the leadership goes into our heads and we forget that we are supposed to make things better. So gradually over the period, we have become more and more insignificant. So when we look around and we talk about great leaders, we will talk about Deng Xiaoping, Lee Kuan Yew, George Washington, etc. And at times people even talk about those who partitioned Africa. And we adore them. At times make controversial tweets. Again, apologies for that. Today, for example, I was surprised to listen to CNN and other Western media, where a lot of Europeans are complaining about being left out of the attempt by Donald Trump to negotiate a conclusion to the Ukraine war. And it reminded me about something I said on 23rd January. So I chose to tweet it, a picture. And in that picture, I showed in the predictions I make annually, a picture of Trump and Putin in one, and Zelensky in a small corner, and two elephants fighting. And I said that the Europeans forget when they want to be at that. I mean, I'm not a supporter of Trump as such. It's just a reflection of what I saw. They forget in making that complaint that when they met in 1835, November to February 1884, November to February 1835 to partition Africa. And the partition was as a result of their decision to end the wars they were fighting in Africa. They were worrying about our resources. And they said, let us come and have peace so that we will stop the war and we will share Africa into pieces and get the resources. When they met, Africa wasn't there. So this is not the first time somebody is having a meeting in settling a problem that others are not there. But I added to that tweet that we should not forget that when two elephants fight, they do not consider the grass nor the neighboring gardens. That's exactly what is happening now. But this is an important lesson not for Europe. I make this lesson for Africa. Because when the time comes for USAID to be cancelled, we forget how much they support our health system. It means that if you allow your health system to be supported wholly by foreigners, the day a leader changes and decides not to support or not to do USAID, they will not consider the grass nor the garden. That is the lesson we need to learn. Now, interestingly, because of our attitude after the 14th century, Africa seemed to have suffered a lot of foreign dominance. 200 years we became slaves and we learned no lessons about it. For another 150 years we became colonies. And we forget that even some of the colonization was voluntary initially. So was slavery, a first sale of our very strong by our chiefs, who didn't realize that they were supposed to make things better. So in so doing, we sold our strongest, then welcomed Mongo Park and Don Diego de Azambuja. In 1844, the bond, it was a few fancy chiefs who actually invited the colonialists. I have heard the story told by Tony about how we sold our gold also by even carrying the people we were going to sell it to. I don't want to go into the details of that. He told that story in a very beautiful way. I was so surprised. So from 1619 all the way for 200 years, we were sold, and then we were then partitioned and divided. Now, what is strange about this is that to this day, our leaders have not realized that unity is more important than gold. I hear so many leaders talk about our natural resources, and it really gets my nerves when I hear people talk about it. That we have the natural resources. Africa has always had the most critical minerals, in quotes, always. When the world needed strong men to build the world, we supplied it. When they needed minerals, we supplied it. When they needed doctors, we supplied it. And we are supplying the critical minerals also. When the people don't recognize and utilize what God has given them, somebody takes it away. But you can never utilize it if you are disunited. So unity, and unity not necessarily within the continent, but even within the countries is very important, and I'll touch on this a few times. We tend to misunderstand unity. There are many who think unity means being one. No. That which is one need not be united because it's already one. It is those who are diverse who need to act as one. Unity means acting together. It doesn't necessarily mean becoming one. Because if you're already one, you need not be united. God created a society of so diverse tribes and people that our strength lie only in acting together. And so far as we remain divided, one chief may invite somebody to colonize them, and it takes just another person to decide what else should be done to us. This then brings me to the so-called Ghana enterprise. And whenever I hear people talk about Ghana Incorporated, I don't understand why we keep referring to that. So far as I'm concerned, when we seek to appoint chief executives, or we appoint even a messenger, we do an advert. And the advert will say, we want some qualities. Do you have this qualification? Are you honest? Do you have integrity, etc.? Our political leaders are elected by being popular. It's as simple as that. How are we an enterprise when we select based on popularity? I don't see us as an enterprise in that sense. More importantly, if you were to equate it to an enterprise, do you know of any organization that progresses where every single thing the leader does is opposed by another person, and every single thing the opponent does is to undermine what the person is being done? It's like having two chief executives in one organization. So we don't really have the enterprise spirit, so we would like to deceive ourselves as that. We suffer from endemic disunity, and I think that it is important that we make a conscious effort to actually deal with that. This is so important that if I were to pick the Constitution, I can point out all the clauses in the Constitution which were written for one human being. Now, I had occasion to talk about that when I had the privilege to deliver the Constitutional Day lecture on January 7th, 2023, so I will not go over that. But I mentioned that because of the very reason that enters is in our psyche about what leadership is about, and I will touch on that very shortly. I have still not come to that point. Now, because you see many Ghanaian leaders who like to write themselves into the law, I've had the privilege of leading the drafting of several laws in Ghana, several, I can't mention them. And on many occasions, you have to be having stakeholder consultations, and you have politicians who make recommendations not because they want it, but because they think they will be implementing it. And they forget that they have an 8-year lifespan at most. At most. I was once approached by somebody as to why I would not contest an election. And I said, so far as I'm concerned, I've had a lifetime of influence from my infancy. Why will I sacrifice that for 8 years? Some of us must stay out of politics. It doesn't mean we can't do public service. It doesn't mean we won't help. I have served on boards before. It means that there are some people who must maintain their independence, because it is only with independent thinking that we can direct and make suggestions that people can take that into account. So as I said, unity is quite an important thing. And I want to emphasize again that the main duty of a leader or leaders is to make things better than they met it. Now, making things better means many things to different people. How is it that we always get it wrong? And how do we see making things better? For some, it simply means occupying a position and making things better for himself or herself. For others, it means creating wealth and improving lives. Yet, there are times that we confuse creating wealth with reducing poverty. The two are not the same. So some, it means creating jobs. For others, it means appointing people into public positions. For some, it means reducing cost of living. For others, it means making things affordable for them now by taking money from the public purse. For some, it means access to amenities. For others, it means unleashing the entrepreneurship spirit of everybody, so that instead of creating organizations like Youth Enterprise Authority, or the Youth YEA, NACOP, getting people to queue at what do you call LWAC, national service, where after every cycle we have a number of ghost names. We collect the ghost names and put them more ghost names in youth corps, etc. Instead of that, the entrepreneurship spirit of the nation will be unleashed, so much so that people will create jobs, and then many people will get jobs, because governments don't create jobs. They cannot create jobs. They create the enabling environment, which includes SOEs creating jobs. Now, I've said this over and over again, that I am not a believer in quote and unquote private sector led growth. No, I am not. And many people find it surprising. I am a believer in growth. Growth can be led by anybody. Strategy depends on the rank of the ladder we occupy. And one of the suggestions I have is that at the stage that we are, it is possible for state-owned enterprises to stimulate growth. The problem I have is that government has business doing business, but it must do business as business. It cannot do business as private sector. Sorry, as public sector. So if you appoint the right people and give them the freedom to manage enterprises, SOEs will have profit. But if you appoint political activists to those positions, then SOEs will go bad. It's as simple as that. After all, we don't need to go far. I always cite the example of Ethiopian Airlines. It's owned by the government of Ethiopia. It's a very profitable airline. And the airline industry is where you have some of the smallest margins. If Ethiopian Airlines can be profitable, anything else can be profitable. It's how we do it. But we cannot keep criticizing politicians without criticizing ourselves as business leaders, and I'm a business leader. And there is one major fault that Ghanaian business leaders have. Incidentally, many business leaders have ended up in politics. We suffer from what I call collective individualism. Collective individualism is a syndrome where the people come together when there is a funeral and there is outdooring and there is anything social, we do it together. We will all contribute. The fancies will say, and each of us will contribute. But give one business leader the chance to become president of an association, then he goes to the president, gets a favor for himself, and abandons the rest of the people. So you see that much as we are collective, we are very individualistic when it comes to success. It will go down to this one big problem that I want us to talk about. Then there is a much talk about vision. And there are those who believe that Ghanaian leaders don't have vision. I disagree. I do not know any Ghanaian political leader who does not have vision or who have not had vision. Our political leaders have always had vision, in my view. But there are other things that make them fail. And I will enumerate them. And I will touch on the vision again. Before rising to power, and when they come into power, they are two separate things. And there are those who say they change when they get into power. That's true. But they can only change when there is absence of deep-seated beliefs. It's not because the power simply just make them change. If you have you don't have deep-seated beliefs, then power will reveal what you already are. And that is my belief. So what now is a conundrum? Let me deal with the conundrum of the things that causes it. The first problem is that they underestimate the problem and overestimate themselves. Because we are divided, we blame everything on those in power or on those in opposition. Because the main goal is to overtake each other and win. We are not fighting collectively. So as a result, once we can blame everything on the other person, we have overestimated ourselves in the minds of our own and our minds of the people, and underestimated the problem. Now, what are the problems that we underestimate? One of them is external. External means it's outside the country. The other is internal. It means it's within the country. Let me illustrate with a few of internal ones. There are those who fund political parties, and they fund in expectation of profit. So when you come into power, they must make return on investments. That problem is underestimated. That when you get into power, you may promise to make a certain appointment based on integrity. But that integrity has already been sacrificed as a result of the funding structure. And my recommendation is that politicians must recognize that. And in recognizing and collecting the money, make promises within the boundaries that they can convey, they can meet ahead, so that way you are not underestimating the problem. Number two is family. We come to power thinking that we are only coming to power with those who helped us come to power. Family have got influence. Children, wives, brothers, cousins suddenly start doing things, some on your blind side, and it becomes difficult for you to deal with them. And because this problem is overlooked on the rise to power, we tend to forget that we must tell our family people that we ought to discipline them. They ought to discipline themselves. I had a friend who was once a governor of Nigeria, one of the states in Nigeria, and he told me a story when I visited him, that he decided to be very honest when he became a governor, until one day he was summoned to his village, and his uncle, who was a chartered accountant, and he expected much better from a chartered accountant, told him that, Governor, opportunity don't come but once, and if you don't take care of your family, this is your last opportunity. And according to him, he understood it in traditional terms. There are those who also forget that the party office will do things which are not necessarily creating or will create a good image for. Then there are traditional leaders who may call you to make appointments. You have a constitution which says that we should take regional balance into account. I've often asked the question that if we wanted to make this country spotlessly clean and we wanted to ban polythene bags the way we admire Rwanda and what do you call it, Singapore for doing that, I want one person to tell me that if one of our very big chiefs, at times I mention the name, arrive at Kotoka holding 2 polythene bags himself, which immigration officer or policeman will collect the polythene bag from him? It's important you ask that question. If you cannot do that, then don't promise to ban polythene bags. Or before you make that promise, you call the chiefs into a room and say, you cannot carry polythene bags. No. I will buy you paper bags. Or if you do, I will sanction you. That you cannot do either, because it breeds distrust. We forget that superstition, beliefs, spiritual women are part of the things which influence us. And people will come and tell you that this juju is affecting you, this place you are going, be careful of what you sit on, etc. We forget that even abroad, put it in quotes, such things happen. There are stories about the influence of Margaret Thatcher's husband and investigations that people called for to investigate her during her reign, about the extent to which that they claim he was getting contracts. So it's not peculiar to Africa. It is how we combat it which is the problem. Then we forget even cross-party influence. There are those who are able to bribe both parties, and they are influential in both parties. There are many of them like that. Then there is the base, those who are the rabble-rousers, who can put pressure regarding the things you do, and who frighten you that we will not vote for you the next time. So, in the midst of all this, we forget what appointees will do. And many presidents in particular forget that many ministers drive their own agenda and not that of the president. Then lastly, we forget that the public service itself has its own nuances, and some public servants themselves can undermine politicians. So the point is that politicians completely underestimate the conundrum of this. It is when I listed this that I understood why Suesco added conundrum to the topic. I agree with you now. It's a real conundrum. Then comes the role of the elite. In the midst of this, what can the elite do? The elite should be doing exactly what Suesco is doing. And this is not the first time I'm speaking. I keep saying that the worst the elite can do to this nation is to stop talking. It doesn't mean politicians will listen. It simply means we should keep talking. What will happen is that people will tell them, did you hear that? The last time I granted an interview on Citi FM, I cannot count on my fingertip the number of people who told me this has been forwarded to this man, this has been forwarded to this man. They listen. Whether they do listen. The op-ed I wrote on ECG, I've been approached by a lot of people, including the technical committee. I had about 1 hour Zoom call with them discussing my views. On this platform in 2015, November, I stood here and made an open recommendation for the creation of a Ministry of Business Development and insisted that it is different from Ministry of Trade. It was created, it was my idea. Of course, at the second term of the government, they didn't continue with it. But at least it showed me that somebody listens. So it is important for us to continue having these conversations. And when we meet them in person, let us tell them how we feel openly, without being partisan. It's because without that, we cannot help them in any way. Okay. The other problem that we must talk about is lack of strategy and our failure to distinguish strategy from tactics. Clearly, many African countries, including Ghana, suffer from lack of strategy. So as a result, they are unable to combat all these pressures. And you find that also as a result, they are professional opportunity takers who find the least opportunity to be able to infiltrate and take advantage of the aggravated disunity that we have. How is it that we have turned our society into a situation where instead of looking for long-term goals, everything is transactional, and everything we do is just for that transaction? I was shocked when on one occasion I led an attempt to offload a state-owned enterprises to a private sector party, high net worth individual. And when I was talking to him about how he can leverage it and become an African champion, his response was that he was waiting to sell it to some guy from Europe. I felt and I thank God that he never got it anyway. If all that we think about is how to do a transaction and make money now, then it is not the kind of thing that, we hope to make that change that we look for. But why does that happen? It happens because as a people, everything that we do is just for our own pomposity. So we are not united around any central vision that we want to attain. So we are caught between whether we are retrogressing, stagnating, or making progress. It's one of the conundrums that we need to deal with. And we have long been victims. As I said earlier, we have always supplied the critical minerals, whether it's slavery or the natural minerals or brain drain, etc. And it's important that we find ways to stop that. The way to stop that is to recognize these things and overcome them. Of all of them, I will just narrow down to what I call the 3 biggest challenges and temptations of every leader. And for me, it defines my life. I have had occasion to talk about this on several fora, especially when I'm called to talk about integrity. And it's very simple. I'm not known as a audacious person, etc. My closest regularity with religion, apart from praying to God every day, is listening to Reverend Otabo. And I'm serious. I'm not saying that because you are here. But among the things I live by in the Bible is the 3 temptations of Christ. And I believe that if political leaders can overcome it, and every leader can overcome it, it makes life very simple. And I will explain. What are these? The first temptation is the desire when we don't have. When we are looking for something that we lack, especially political power, it forces us to do everything to attain it. If you will attain anything at all costs, that is your God already. You have already sacrificed God. There is nothing that I want to attain at all costs. I have to do everything it takes to attain it. But if I don't get it, I tell myself, maybe God doesn't want me to have it, at least at this time. So if you have to get it at all cost, then it's your God. Many politicians attain power at all cost. And during that cost, they borrow from the wrong people. They go to the wrong juju place. They make different promises they cannot keep. They go outside and make promises and promise projects they have no idea how to execute. And that is the first problem. The second is desire when we have. I talked about desire when we lack. But the second is desire when we have. Now, if you go back to the temptation of Christ, he was told, bow before me and I'll give you a loaf of bread. You are hungry. That's desire. You should not eat by bread alone. It means that the other things are more important than just what you are desiring. And I live by this principle. Now I come to the second one. I say desire when we have. When we have, there is a tendency for us to have more. Especially if we lacked before. Somehow our comfort goes into the possessions we have. I wonder how many cars people can drive at a time, or how many houses they can live in at a time. But amassing it not to create wealth and to make other people life better, but for yourself. For this, just for yourself. A whole diplomat came to me and pointed to a politician on how much money that politician has stolen physically. And I was wondering, that is money that I think I cannot spend over 30 years, even if I was multiplying my current spend by 10 times. Why does one person want to steal that physically from the masses? It belongs to the desire when we have, the desire to acquire more. If you will worship me, I will give you the rest of the cities and the whole world. It creates greed. And I tweeted once, greed and ambition are not the same. I'm a very ambitious person. Greed, ambition, whilst ambition helps you to achieve, greed turns your mind into a grabbing machine and seeks to help you to prevent others from attaining their own goals. So you alone can be distinguished. That is exactly what we do. And we have a lot in our society. People look at the problems around them, instead of at least talking about it or helping or creating jobs, they want to be different so that they can be special and everybody else can be ordinary. I believe that if we will come together and talk to each other in conversations like this, not underestimate the problem, and admit that all these plethora of things are the things which make us feel, we will find a way of being able to overcome it, whilst at the same time retaining political power and progressing the nation.
Please wait until I find my real size. I'm gonna get me some love.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
So that was David Ofosu-Dorte speaking at the most recent Swedo conversations, and I'm probably going to put the whole speech online. Look, sometimes you need to just listen to these people. The Swedo conversations was labeled the leadership conundrum, and he was speaking on bold solutions for Ghana's leadership and governance challenges. Maybe Edwin and Co, you can put the full recording online for people to listen, because I think it's really, really good. It touched on so many things. For want of time, I didn't play all. Kickoff is coming up next, and I'm very happy because today is the last kickoff we'll hear before Liverpool get crowned champions. Oh, please. It's in fact, even Tottenham self will just give us the goals. Actually, I wanted to say something before we do this. There's something very interesting happening this weekend at Swalaba. So, House of Folk was founded at Swalaba, which is some part of Accra. So this weekend, there is the unveiling of the plaque. The unveiling of the plaque of Asafwachesibi Nete. And this Asafwachesibi Nete, there's a road called Asafwachesibi Road. So they are unveiling the plaque of this great man. And this is part of the story of Hearts of Folk, because that is where the team was founded. So this Saturday, all Phobians are requested to be at Swalaba to help unveil the plaque of Asafo Acheneti. Asafo Acheneti. And, the team is not doing that well, but we shall rise again. So that's just by way of information. Kickoff is next. Edwin is here, and I'm just going to announce the sponsors before he tells us how Liverpool is winning the EPL this weekend. Anything you do, we are winning it. Wherever you pass, I mean, I think Spurs will even beat them. Yeah. Spurs, we are not a serious team.
Ange really wants the win.
No, Ange wants to win Europa League. If he tries, we'll injure some of his players.
But he wouldn't want his team to be 70, to finish 70.
If it was about what he wanted, he would have been far up. It's not what he wants doesn't matter here. He has no power to implement what he wants because he's lost 18 games. A man like that should not be, his intention should not be used to thwart the ambitions of a noble team like Liverpool. So don't come and tell me whatever he wants. He even lost to, who did he lose to last time? Last week, who did he lose to?
Whoa. That was before.
No, he lost some very funny games. Some game that he wasn't supposed to lose, he even lost it. Aston Villa. 2-1. So Charlie, don't come and tell me that he wants to do what? He should go and beat the other teams. He should go and beat Chelsea. He's going to worry our lives. Kickoff is coming up next. It's 7:56. Today I'm dealing with a number of issues. Some people say their lives have been going off. I talk about Doomso. Some people are unhappy with the Accra to Kumasi road. They say it takes them 6 to 7 hours to get to Kumasi. And it's affecting everything from their vehicles to the cost of food to all kinds of things, to healthcare and all that. So we'll talk a bit about that this morning. And then, of course, we'll tell you about some big events we're doing in June. But let me tell you about the sponsors of Kickoff. Le Shareholders Don't Call Me campaign has come because you deserve financial peace. Life comes with financial challenges, but with Le Sharehold, you don't have to face them alone. From now till April 30, we've reduced our interest rates just for you. Whether it's education, rent, or unexpected expenses, we've got the right loan to meet your needs. Simply WhatsApp or call 0270-040-799. Let's make life easier together. Act now before the offer ends. Terms and conditions apply. Le Sharehold, let's improve life. And we're also sponsored by Polytank. Polytank. We've done this for over 30 years, so we are the masters when it comes to water storage. Whether it's the Rambo, the Hippo, the Sumo, or the Super Sumo, durability and quality is assured. Polytank is the original tank for storing water. By the way, we don't request Momo payment online. If anybody asks you for Momo payment, they want to steal your money. And finally, Shell Helix 0W20. It's really made for your classy vehicle, a fully synthetic motor oil design from natural gas using the Shell Pure Plus technology. Leaves your pistons cleaner than a whistle, up to 50% more than the industry standard. Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP, designed for ultimate engine performance. So we have the long-suffering Edwin Kwakufi.
Well, it's Friday.
Charlie tells me when they suffer. Charlie Rich's guy, they say that's me like EPL again. He said he's the fan of cricket.
Just recent
EPL, you know, go play again.
We've won a lot. It's time for other teams to win.
The long-suffering Edwin Kwakufi is here with the news.
Well, it's Friday morning. Welcome aboard to Kickoff on the City Breakfast Show. Kickoff is powered by Zonda Ghana, Polytank GH, Shell Go Well, and Le Sharehold. Let's improve life. Let's start with the CAF Schools Championship, where Ghana's Black Damsels have booked their spot in the semi-finals of the tournament. The girls' team secured back-to-back wins in the group stage, including a key victory over Benin to qualify to the Final Four. The Damsels have looked solid throughout the tournament and will be hoping to maintain their fine form as they chase the title. And following their dominant win over Algeria, the head coach for the boys under 15 side, Kweku Danso, says the team is on track for greater things as they advance to the semi-finals as well. Danso praises players for their performance but issued a word of caution, noting a growing sense of overconfidence within the squad.
Yeah, it's very interesting and it's a big platform for me to at least showcase what I can do. So I think it's going well. It's going well for me.
What's next for Ghana?
Yeah, the next is a trophy. As I said, gradually we are moving up. We hope to top the group and then semi-finals. We know we'll get to the finals and then there's the trophy. Yeah, it's true. I was even shouting at one of my boys. They were becoming so lean-headed and they don't play as a team. as a team. So, in fact, I will say that, and I'm going to work out.
That was the head coach of the national under-15 boys side, Kweku Danso. The team will take on defending champions Tanzania in the semi-finals later today. Away from that, the Ghana Weightlifting Federation has postponed its elective congress, which was originally set for Friday, the 25th of April, until further notice. In a statement signed by the Secretary General Benjamin Adi, the Federation said the decision follows concerns over the integrity of the delegates list, with some stakeholders questioning the transparency of the process. To the Premier League now, and Aston Villa star Morgan Rogers has made a bold statement about his ambitions, claiming he believes he's one of the best players in the world despite his growing reputation. Rogers admits there's still more to prove.
I think I compete with them. Yeah, 100%. I think I compete with them. I think what people have over me is probably the consistency of doing it for a number of years, and that's the challenge. That's the challenge with the good players and the great players, is to be able to consistently do it, and that's what I've got to prove. I've done it for a year, but that's nothing. It's nothing in the reality of what I want to do and where I want to be, kind of finish my career of the group and category of players I want to be involved with. I've got to do it for a number of years like these players have. So yeah, it's a good start, and I'm happy, but it's definitely not the end, and I'll keep pushing to get better.
That was Aston Villa star Morgan Rogers. Staying in the Premier League, and Leicester City captain Jamie Vardy has announced that he will leave the club at the end of the season. He was instrumental in City's Premier League title win in the 2015-2016 season and the FA Cup victory in 2021. Here's how Vardy announced his imminent exit.
To the fans of Leicester, gutted that this day is coming, but I knew it was going to come eventually. I've 13 unbelievable years at this club with lots of success, some downs, but the majority all highs. But it's finally time to call it a day, which I'm devastated about, but I think the timing is right. I just want to sincerely thank you all for taking me in as one of your own. Leicester will always have a massive place in my heart, and I'll make sure that I will be following for the years to come in what I hope will be even more success for the club. But as for now, this is my goodbye, but you will see me again soon, I promise. Thank you.
That was Leicester City captain Jamie Vardy. In Spain, goals from Alexander Sørloth, Conor Gallagher and Julian Alvarez gave Atletico Madrid a 3-0 victory over Rayo Vallecano. To the NBA, and Kawhi Leonard scored 21 points and had 11 rebounds in a 117-83 victory for the Los Angeles Clippers as they took a 2-1 lead against the Denver Nuggets. James Harden and Norman Powell also added 20 points apiece, while Nikola Jokic stuffed the staff sheet with 23, 13 and 13 for the Nuggets. Let's hear from Clippers guard James Harden.
On the road, our role players missed some shots that they usually make. So tonight, it was a contribution from everybody. Everybody made shots, and we played well. We played as a team. We knew we were getting shots and opportunities in that first two games that they just didn't go in. Tonight, they went in for us.
You said everyone played well. 4 out of 5 starters scored 19 or more. What did that very balanced offensive attack show about this team's ability?
That's what it's about, man. Any given night, anybody can, score the basketball. Tonight we had, a number of guys to do it. So, we did what we were supposed to do. We got to be ready for Saturday, game 4.
That was LA Clippers guard James Harden. In the night's other games, the New York Knicks took a 2-1 lead over the Detroit Pistons with a 118-116 win, while the Oklahoma City Thunder are one game away from sweeping the Memphis Grizzlies after a 114-108 win. And that's the latest in the world of sports. For more on all these stories, visit citysportsonline.com. Kickoff is powered by Shell. Shell Go Well, Politan Ghana, Zonda GH, and Leshehu. Let's improve life. I am Edwin Kwakofi. The City Breakfast Show with Bernard Avle continues.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's share go, we improve your life. Let's share go, let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Even when you're stuck with nothing, come to Let's share go. No matter your situation, let's go, we improve your life. Let's go, hey, let's go, hey, let's go, hey, mama, hey, mama, hey, mama. Let's go, we improve your life. Papa no ankasa. Polytank is everywhere, durable and authentic. Stronger brand you can trust. Polytank, we get some more Rambo and get some more super. And the Polytank we did. Polytank, Papa no, Papa no, Papa no, Papa no, Papa no, Ankasa. Polytank, the original, always the best.
There are some classy celebrations that calls for whipping out your favorite China sets. Same goes for your luxury vehicle. Just any engine oil won't do. Premium understands premium best. The new Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP is the one for your premium car. It's a fully synthetic motor oil designed using the Shell Pure Plus technology. Prevents dirt buildup with exceptional cleaning power, leaving your pistons cleaner than a whistle, up to 50% more than the industry standard, and gives you stronger, long-lasting engine performance. So, if you want your classic car to run smoothly like a Ferrari for years to come, use the Shell Helix Ultra SP020, made for premium. Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP, designed for ultimate engine performance.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Looking for a bank to rely on? Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Wouldn't we say to bank baby? No lie, only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe, universal banking ain't in me here on the date. I'm a busy person, me no need time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt, but tell me office a chilly, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best, I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west, everything is you first. Woo!
Nobody feed do, I'm like us, do I'm like us. First Bank we treat you first, treat you first. Somebody see yeah. Think about you first, think about you first.
You first, First Bank.
Auntie T, I beg, fix me go betete Ghana. No gari, no oil, no plantain, just beans and eggs.
Hey, brah, that be dangerous combination, no?
Problem no day. I feel handle am.
For Telecel, with the Bob say everybody gets what they like. That be why Made For Me bundles day. Based on your usage, you fit get your own data and call packages. Fala! Made For Me bundles like the way you the want town. That *530#, then buy Made For Me bundles today.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Hey, dear Niham sir. And stay soft concentrate fabric softener. I was such it move. You're sending this say be here met na oche. Niham it's na oche. No be a baby some some demoni ni na say. Dear Niham say. Fair quiet, yes, in Biaro Association Ontario. Uses Stay Soft and Niham it's na oche. Nani boss to tap from cra. A fabric softener. A yen yes, sir. Choose to Stay Soft. No who's so say no. FDID a dreading crack to yatu.
Football's magic never fades, even from the couch. The sound of halftime banter replays at the touch of a button. Sharing with my chosen crew, pure game magic. It's like I'm there, but with a better view from the comfort of my home. Priceless. From the March 3rd to April 30th, pay with your MasterCard, online or in-store, and stand a chance to win a unique priceless viewing experience of the UEFA Champions League final for you and your friends. MasterCard, proud supporter of non-stop fans. T&Cs apply.
When the pain is too much, don't know what else to do. So hunam ya wuya, na wunya wunya. Rapping all, we'll take the pain away. Rapping all, then my wuya on the jai.
Rapinol is what you need. Rapinol will relieve you of all aches and pain in your body. Rheumatic pain, menstrual pain, body pain, toothaches, and other feverish conditions. Rapinol is a quality product from Danex Itin Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. Not suitable for children below 16 years old, asthmatic, and also patients. This advert is FDA approved.
No power.
This year, take the first step towards a deeper connection with God and one another. Join us for the Family Consecration Service, a powerful journey of faith, love, and renewal. In 2025, we are called to consecrate our homes, our hearts, and our lives, to dedicate ourselves and our families to the path of faith, grace, and unity. Through prayer and reflection and a shared devotion, the Family Consecration Service 2025 brings families closer together, strengthens bonds, and invites God's presence into every corner of our homes. It's on Thursday, 1st of May 2025 from 6 a.m. to 12 noon. The venue is the Oil Dome, Royal House Chapel International, Accra. There will be renewal of vows for married couples. Join countless families around the world as we come together to consecrate our lives in the spirit of love and faith. A consecration for today and for generations to come. Make this year a new beginning. Family Consecration Service 2025 for the love of God and the love of family. Join us this year. Together, let's consecrate our families and our hearts.
From his life till he returns, all calls me.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302-246319 or 0302-246644. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Unleashing the power of relative radio. This is City 97.3.
say no yeni je encourage nenya enu de me peo yeah for I do jinchia encourage na ya ga washe dem enu yes see oh boy na send me yeah I said denyi na mawa now so yeah Casanova and the Ajua China Akosia and in a May be who Marion Jones ooh boy ooh day in New America.
It's 8:15 on the 25th day of April 97.3 FM Friday morning. I like Fridays because we take it easy. We haven't forgotten about our business at all. The business competition, we'll give you more insight on that. We want to make it big. We have a big conversation coming up for you this morning. But I just want to say to the Minister of Health, just go to storm the hospital and just tell the people that, hey, you are sorry, please go back to work, so that they will go back to work, because Charlie, the strike is in this second day. And we've all understood your urgency, the sense of concern for patients, and I think you should go to the place and apologize to the people so that they will go back to work, so that we can all live happily ever after. Because the report we got from Tamale was that the strike is really affecting healthcare. And I don't want to go into health today, because yesterday somebody called Samens and told him something, and the thing really worried me, that a patient was put in an ambulance from which town?
Karaga.
From Karaga, and brought to a private medical facility in Accra at airport, not to come and do operational, to come and do what? MRI scan. So they left Karaga at 4 a.m., drove on the Eastern Corridor Road and got to Accra around 3:45 to come and do a simple MRI scan. Now there are too many issues here, and I don't want to go inside, but it's just not right. So what I just want to say to the minister, you know what? Just go to the doctors and say, look, I'm sorry, come and work. Because for me, once the hospital is working, at least people have a chance to survive. We can deal with a lot of issues. They sent out a list of what they want. You take your time and you solve it. But if a patient, and this is not in relation to the strike, this MRI is not because of the strike. It's a different issue. But I'm bringing it to just say that there are many issues in the health sector that require a lot of work. Of course, all the solid private facilities are in Accra and Kumasi. So if you have a serious condition in Karaga, and woe betide you that you don't have good car, you will just die. All right. So for me, the conversation about healthcare, there are many things: distribution, ethics, why we have so many doctors in a small space in Accra and very few doctors in other parts of the country. So obviously those who are working in deprived parts of the country feel that they are sacrificing more. We have to put all those things to context. So I just want to say to Minta Akando, call the doctors and let peace prevail. Let them go back to work. Supply the things they need, and then we can deal with the systemic issues later. Sky, Samens.
Let me just add my voice to this. I've said it many times that it will make him stronger if he can identify what they are unhappy about and explain. He didn't mean to offend them in the way they have taken it, but if it requires an apology. Now, the reason is that it's actually a bit deceptive when we make reference to this hospital as the Tamale Teaching Hospital for people to think that it's a hospital that serves Tamale. This hospital is a tertiary hospital that serves 6 regions. It serves 6 regions.
Actually, if you're in Kintampo, you may even have to go there and not come to.
No, it serves the northern region, the northeast, upper east, upper west, Savannah, and
then Bono East. That's what I'm saying. Bono
this is their go-to place. So this tango between the health minister and the medical practitioners is now coming at a cost
to all of us.
To all of us. So just do it so that you can do your work.
So we can move on.
Yeah.
So we can move on.
We are not here to to say that that strike action, we encourage strike action, because you see, misfortune always happens to the other person until it gets closer. When we hear people dying, it's one of the statistics like, the
until it
people
is close
there,
to you.
until it's close to you.
Until it is
and
close
you
to you.
never know when it will be close to you.
And the thing is that, you see, people, it's a very important point, because you see, the thing about death is that the person is not coming back.
Yes.
And it changes families, it changes look, somebody's prospects in life can be curtailed just because a breadwinner died.
Yep.
So the cost of strike action is unfathomable. The difference between somebody becoming a destitute, pregnant 16-year-old and an accomplished leader in society is maybe because their parent is alive or dead. So we just want to say that it's not about winning and losing. Let's get the doctors to work. They give us a nice list of the things they need, and I think the minister is in a good position to start engaging on that. And I also
Some
want
of the things were provided yesterday.
It's good, fantastic. So I want to urge the doctors to also be considerate in the way they respond to these things. That there's not everything on that list that is needed before you go back. So at least let the minister apologize. Then you go back to work, and then we can move on and deal with the key issues. All right, so that's all we'll say. Yesterday we spoke a lot about this, so we just want to leave it here for now. All right, now a few things. Two issues coming up strongly this morning. Experience the thrill of easy banking with Zenith Bank this season. We have 24-hour access to your digital banking channels from home. You can make quick and easy payments with your Zenith MasterCard, Visa card, or EasyPay GH Dual card, or simply use the Z Mobile Ghana app, Zenith Internet Banking, or dial star 966 hash to manage your account, buy data bundles and airtime, make payments, and more. You may call 0302-680-884 or go to zenithbank.com.gh for more information. Now, Ghana is leading the African continent in gearing up for a bold leap into the digital future. Under the joint auspices of the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, and the Ministry of Interior, top minds in government, technology, and trade will gather at the Labadi Beach Hotel this Monday, April 28th, for the Mobex Africa Roundtable. Oh yes. So the Mobex Africa Roundtable is on the theme Digital Identity and E-Border. So this is the first of 3 roundtables. This one is on digital identity and E-Border, facilitating intra-African trade and after in a 24-hour economy. Key speakers include Honorable Samonate George, Communication Minister, Honorable Muntaka Mubarak Mohammed, Minister for Interior, who is the keynote speaker, and Moses Baden Jr., Chairman of Margins ID Group. So 3 great guys speaking on a very important topic. Mobex Africa Roundtable, sponsored by Margins ID Group, empowered by Mobex Africa, the innovations marketplace. And don't just watch, feel every moment of passion like a true football fan. From conducting every pass, analyzing every play, and celebrating every goal like it's your own. That passion felt and lived. Look out for the MasterCard booth at Accra Mall Decathlon store on the weekend starting 28th March to the 30th of April for a chance to win branded MasterCard memorabilia and engage with your favorite stars. It promises to be truly priceless. And we all want a little more sleep, like Richard Sky did today. A little more biscuits, like Afrakuma gave today to go with the tea. Or a little more salary, like Godfred Odum is telling Samens in his head. The ABSA Ultimate account is also giving you more. You know, more of a good thing now. The account comes with a lot of things. So, for example, retrenchment insurance cover of up to 50,000 Ghana cedis, hospital cashback benefits, access to seamless digital solutions, travel insurance of 1 million cedis, and over 30 other benefits on the account. Now, if you want more, then sign up for the ultimate account from ABSA. Let's read a few comments. In fact, let's do some birthday requests first, and then I will jump into my first. Today I'm doing customer feedback. Alright, good morning. Help me wish a happy birthday to Bevelyn Kweno and Rita Elumelu of Access Bank Ghana, and happy 40th to Vivian Ampedu of GIPC. All of this coming in from Fatima of Kamshi and Sense to Bevelin Queno and Rita Elumelu.
Elumelu, you know.
Charlie, your name will open doors.
Charlie.
Even if you are not related, they'll give you a job. Rita Elumelu.
Rita Elumelu.
I tell you. And happy 40th Vivian Ampedu of GIPC. Another one coming in. Angel Sharona Shika Dowona. You are in level 300, University of Ghana. Happy birthday from daddy, mommy, and siblings. Message is fly, girl. Bena, please wish my wife, Vincentia Achu Agbomani Sabate, a happy birthday. From children, Aaron, Valerie, Vanessa, Verity, and myself, your husband. We love you. The Lord fortify you every step of the way. So coming into Vincentia Achu Agbomani Sabute. Your husband says you are too much. Auntie Amma at 70. Happy birthday to CEO of Amalina Children's Haven. Auntie Amma Enchiwa, aka Amma Takwa. From your lovely husband, all your children, Mrs. Sylvia Amma Enchiwa, Reverend and Mrs. Prince Menu, all your grandchildren, the entire management and staff of Amalina Children's Haven. Happy 70th to Auntie Amma. Please wish, okay, I think I read this already. Alright, let me read a few quick comments. Okay, today is Mr. Chumesi of Kede SHTS's birthday, or actually it's Sunday. Wish him happy birthday in advance. Good morning, Bernard. My name is Asawa. I live at Bechile. Please, the doomsday situation in Bechile is hell. The light goes off abnormally. Anytime the light goes off, I call the ECG customer care and they keep giving me excuses upon excuses. Our light went off on Wednesday around 2 a.m. and came back yesterday at 10 p.m. It went off this dawn again. Came back and went off again. The annoying part is it goes off and on like a child playing with a light like 10 times a day. Indeed, residents of Wejagbawe are calling on ECG and Gridco to resolve the ongoing power fluctuations affecting the community. They've been speaking to Citi News' Philip Nilate in this quick report.
In recent times, individuals in parts of the country have been complaining about erratic power supply. The issue appears to have worsened in some regions, including Greater Accra, Volta, and Ashanti. In the Greater Accra region, the inconsistent power supply has prompted the MP for Wejagbawe, Jerry Ahmed Shai, to express his dissatisfaction. In a statement, he noted that residents of Wejagbawe are severely bearing the brunt of the problem. He's, however, demanding answers from the power distribution company, ECG. On the Channel 1 newsroom, we have come to Wejagbawe to assess the current situation. In the Wejagbawe constituency, we understand that the erratic power supply happens in areas like Aigbetan, Oblogo, Ashbred, and Tetego. We are currently in the Oblogo area, and we will speak to some residents and find out from them what the issue is and how the situation is affecting them in this area.
Almost time my light off. Last 2 weeks, almost 2 o'clock, and son almost so. We were 6 o'clock, we were 8 o'clock. No more doom. I just said 12 and now 1 number so. And so to me saw no vision. I saw other first Kaswa calling in on beso. I had here almost so I need to take. Pa Omobom Coco. Will be in her boy Coco, and one say war off. A bounces will be in who be catching a war. Naba. The Enucrapa say MP the kind of crap. On Chantro. I told the high pa this one big jaya my dear and Kiepe. We say light in Pusenke ba a wia and I say beer and no pampa can high. Nana Jufana ubia ebedano, what do light? Be or her need die kitu ebi. And if I know Koda or that bontin so ubinya no be plano.
Recently, I think 2 weeks ago, you do let around 8:30 about 2 a.m. Until the whole night in say and I may walk back to Accra over 1 month, 2 weeks. Now here the way I'm light out, nice showing there. And easy. Even 3 days ago, the same thing. Yet me doom ya happy. Now around me now light until no credit no crepa say doom light solution bi wo ho a was mo ye fa ho a nke be boy pa because say anakwa prepaid and the prepaid na yes doom light de nka first na nke bia say nipa no ntua light bill and I fancy bia udum na nipa na adwan ba no say bia bill na won tua nti but say na prepaid ya na yeto prepaid nti say doom light emwa kra this solution bi wo ho no ma was say omoye.
This is Jama Junction within the constituency, and behind me is a welder. He relies solely on electricity. Obini, good morning.
Good morning.
What was saying?
The firm Grace Shamu Metawis.
Grace Shamu
Metawis.
But Odian Kasai.
Frank Jane. I had a problem to see a pa because a man you mean ye do because I said you want me yen light near you so by what the whole day light off. There were 2 days cry off. ATM why you crack quentabino on wine, tis idea. Yeah, break. Because you do me light and quack machine. Your man light of pay were off. But my traffic be about 3 days for this. Oh, so light new about the Juma. When you are like your machines going in light in quantity day, it's a awful pay or food traffic. Light bar. Now di make abere abaye djuma MY
na light off no ombe ma ombo mokoko
dede bi wo ha off onte hwe wo ye djuma na fun oso ko ba bitran wo be twen sa e mai bo 3-4 hours e mai now tia e ba pe no di make gidigidi cause obi djina djuma na say light off abeda ye djuma onti me nye hwe in fact your problem saban wanya wo hwe a ye djuma egu.
Still assessing the impact of erratic power supply in the Wejagbawe constituency. We are engaging some business owners and individuals who rely solely on electricity for their day-to-day activities.
Electricity in the very poor. Yeah, look and current. If you are not there, Latin there and your daytime and so on and off. And it is a Nkrofo akeka say Wejagbawe wo mudum light no. Nti omonhwe na omonye hu bibi e mayen pacha engine so na ombedum no so mayen ya we na ehu so ombedum no ya.
Meanwhile, the member of parliament for Wejagbawe, Jerry Ahmed Shaib, has been speaking about the issue.
What we have done is, first of all, to have some conversations with the ECG and by extension Gridco. Over the period, especially in the past month, it's been more drastic. And we've been wondering why the disproportion in the constituency, that is the Wejagbawe constituency. The very good people of Wejagbawe are of the view that why is it that we have committed some offense or crime? Because although we are well aware of the national crisis, because we know that there are power outages out there, in our case, it's been more rampant. My intention is to reach out to the minister on Tuesday. Yes, my intention is to go back to perhaps Gridco and find out what is happening. And I'll rally the support of some opinion leaders to get to go with me. Because everywhere to be the normal, maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, sometimes even a day, I think that I won't be pushing this much. But it's become more like, in Wejagbawe, there is a certain problem. We don't see the problem. We see that we only suffer 3 days, 4 days, sometimes more. So why is that the case?
So that was a Wejagbawe MP. So I'm going to do a quick experiment. So in the next 5 minutes, I want you to tell me whether this is a local issue or whether it's widespread. So if you wherever you're listening for this, let me know. This people's situation seems pretty serious from the way you describe it, but I don't know about other listeners and whether they've had the same level of outage. For example, here in Adabraka, I don't see that level of outage.
Well, if you monitor social media, you see people post comments talking about how Dumso is affecting them in their respective.
And this is from all over the country?
I wouldn't say all over the country, but you get to see those comments, and it would seem that there is a challenge that has got to be resolved. Yesterday, I drew your attention to a story that the Minister of Finance, Honorable Atul Forson, speaking in the US, said the energy sector was the greatest risk the economy was facing, and that there was some 2 billion or so debt there that has got to be dealt with, or some funding gap that has got to be dealt with. So there is some
so it's a money issue.
Yeah, and we have got to deal with it. Somehow we have not been able to get around the problem.
And I don't also think they are telling us clearly why people are having power outages.
Yeah.
If they had said, for example, we have a production shortfall or there are some issues with transmission, we would have known. But there's so much noise in the energy sector now. ECG missing containers, the energy sector is the risk. So there isn't that level of clarity, and I think it makes the thing probably worse. Let's read a few quick comments to just get a sense of the situation, and then the news team can follow up. So Sky, if you can just help me read a few of these ones.
Good morning, Bernard. The situation at Hohoe is terrible. Low voltage is killing us. Our gadgets can't cope anymore. It always starts around 6 p.m. and sometimes during the day. We've not had any good explanation from the ECG over the problem. It's coming in from
So this is Hohoe,
Hohoe
in the Volta region. Okay.
This one said the light off situation is more difficult here in Community 25 in Tema. This is from Nene.
Okay, so we have Tema.
And this one says the light situation is likewise worse, in the Kumasi area. Yesterday and today, I have to repeat the outfit I wore to work on Tuesday due to light out. It's coming in from Kweku. Repeating your outfit, how did you do that?
Because he didn't iron enough.
Oh, Charlie.
So he wore Tuesday, he dried it and wore it again yesterday.
Hey, Charlie.
Sent to know.
Wash away.
He can't even wash it, he can't iron it.
So that's difficult. Please shed some light on the persistent power outages in the Ogbojo area. This is in Accra.
Okay.
For the past 3 days, we've experienced a constant on and off electricity. Power briefly returned yesterday, only to go off again last night. And as of now, it's still off. What's more frustrating is that nearby areas like Trasako, where my brother lives, haven't had it nearly as bad. We would really appreciate some clarity on or intervention on this.
So there are local disparities in the challenge. So could it be localized faults?
Well, maybe Trasako has his own way of sometimes dealing with the challenge, even if it is there.
Okay.
Because that's a prime area.
So we've had Hohoe, we've had Weja, we've had Kumasi, we've had Ogbojo, and now we are hearing Community 25, and then Trasako area. Where else do you have?
This one says, good morning. Please,
Yeah.
I would like your team to help us understand this about ECG's customer service, specifically their lack of communication with customers regarding power outages. Despite numerous complaints, customers are not provided with updates on the status of the issue. For some time now, the country has been experiencing power outages, and their feedback basically remains the same. Nothing to write home about. Most of the time, they will tell you, they will inform their engineers to investigate the matter. However, the issue persists. Now, with the same power outage recurring,
at the same time every week on specific
times. This raises concerns about the competence of the engineers or the transparency of ECG's communication with customers. Bernard, can you please help us to kindly invite some experts to shed light on the situation, as citizens have the right to know what's causing these frequent power outages, especially since we pay our bills and increase is about to happen.
Okay.
So they're talking about bill increases, and they are talking about the need for reliable service. It's coming in from Parkofi.
As they say,
not happy about
if you want to speak to God, speak to the wind. So we are putting this out. I know the ministry is listening. I know GECG, Gridco, and all these other people are listening. And if they have a response, we are very happy to receive it. But if you look at the numbers, so far, Kumasi is Asante region, Western region also complain. Volta region, at least Hohoe has complained. A lot of Greater Accra has complained as well. Another one I just got from Ajen Kotoku. It says the light goes off every evening around 7 p.m. and it's been so for the past 3 weeks. So
there's one here from Spintex.
Okay.
It says a place called Collins Dauda area in Spintex. So we haven't had light since the morning of Tuesday.
Oh. As in this week Tuesday?
Yes.
Hey.
Fred, you have to call somebody because you see it's becoming serious.
There's a pattern.
Now this one says every day for the last 4 days at night, low current. So my fridge guard turns off my fridge like every 15 minutes. This is from Kakasunaka number 2.
That's after Tema, isn't it?
Kakasunaka is on the way to
Camp
Michelle Camp area. So those are some of the comments, and I hope the authorities are mapping out the places the complaints are coming from, so they can decide exactly what's going on.
They know.
How they know?
I mean,
they
yes.
know.
I mean,
so why
the light goes off,
But why wouldn't they tell us?
They have a system that
Yeah,
monitors the whole country. So
except the old system that is not plugged onto the dashboard, but they know, and they are just inundated with these things because the queuing for service maintenance and repairs has outgrown their capabilities and their resources, and so they may explain the issues away and still not get it done.
What do you think? Do you think it's money?
Oh, it's clearly it's
so
money.
So they need to change some of the things.
Yes,
like,
I mean
like
we
those
have
transformers
look,
and those kind of
our
things.
consumption definitely is outstripping the supply. That's a fact.
Not necessarily generation, but like the
distribution.
Yeah, the distribution.
Yes.
Okay.
The distribution is in tatters.
So they need to buy new transformers, new transmission lines, and all those things.
They have to do that.
Okay.
And it comes at a cost, huge cost. But he said today I shouldn't go into it.
Yeah, I know you are very emotive about this. You start
it would
talking and
seem
start.
that there's a lot of outrage because the comments keep pouring in.
Yeah. And the other thing is that even though ECG has been in the news for the past 3-4 weeks on these containers, it hasn't really addressed, which is what is making it annoying. So they are talking about missing containers and all these things, but they are not really telling us what he is saying, that look, the system needs an upgrade. So we can put the dots together. The system needs an upgrade. The finance minister says there's no money in terms of being the weakest link because of the debts. They want to increase tariffs end of April. So to connect the dots, they may need more money to upgrade the system until they do that. The lucky thing is that it's not a generation problem like, say, maybe the water level in Kosovo is down or there's no gas, which is why it's not like there's not panic stations yet. So it's more like the places where the system has problems, they will face the challenge. Get it? It's not gotten to a stage where like you have to shed load. I think that's where we are now, which is why it's not become.
We just have chosen a very expensive path of using thermal energy.
Exactly.
It's very expensive.
Exactly.
It's consistent, it's reliable, but expensive. And the associated accessories to deliver the service is also very expensive. And I don't know how I'm going to say this without talking about local content. That's why the Energy Commission and Parliament came out with a forceful energy local content for the energy sector. So that this thing of every day trying to travel to import can be curtailed.
Because it raises our costs.
Yes. And
they are importing. I don't know who allowed they are importing cables. Everything. They are importing all these things. Meanwhile, there are companies that are here that can do it, and we can use that to reduce the price if we want to. So it's a very important point.
I lost my thought, but the point I was trying to make is if we really want to solve our problems, we know what to do to solve our problems. Only that we'll choose a path that benefits only a few people.
For example, the point you made about the thermal. Now we have gas. Hopefully, if we get the system to move the gas to the eastern part from the west, because gas is a much cheaper version.
Why is that taking forever?
I think the investment. The gas that they started in the Western Enclave has helped with the power mix, because gas is a transitional fuel. So gas is much cheaper than, say, crude or any of these heavy fuel oils. So the gas thing is great, all right, which is why. But the problem is that the facilities that can produce the gas are mostly in the eastern side, and the gas is from the western side, which is why in the past the gas usually comes from Nigeria, and it still does. But they are working on it. So I think the Minister of Energy said they are prioritizing a gas
pipeline.
Yes, as one of the key. And what it does is that because gas is also cleaner, you also benefit. So it's cheaper, it's cleaner, and it's more readily available from our oil than the fuels we import.
Yeah, but Bernard, I think beyond the long-term solutions they are dealing with, look, they have made it clear that they want to deal with solar as one of the ways of encouraging people to invest in that space and become self-reliant. I think it ought to have reflected in the budget. Solar if you decide to wipe off all the import duties that you impose on the importation of solar systems into the country. That is one way of doing it.
And that's to increase the generation problem.
Exactly.
Our biggest problems now
is not generation.
It's at the distribution level.
That's the issue. Which is why ECG is the issue.
I understand that. But you see, once you do that, right, you ease the problems that customers like you, your good self, and many other people are facing.
But Sky,
I get what you mean. You are saying the domestic use of solar.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, of
so
course,
that's another solution.
Yeah.
I don't intend to. So, listeners, what we've done is we've raised the issue and we'll follow it throughout our various channels. So, as you know, we have Citi Prime News, we have, of course, Eyewitness News, and then we have the bulletins on Channel 1 television as well. So, I'm raising this, hoping that the team will pick it up and follow it through for the rest of the weekend.
Interest, if you care to know, just read the publication by David Ofosu-Dotte on it says the Hydra-headed challenges of the proposed privatization of ECG.
Why don't you send it to me too?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. He wrote this a few months ago.
Yes,
you know.
Yeah, I couldn't read it.
I mean,
it
if you
deals
read
with
this
all
thing,
the issues.
it tells you the whole story.
Yeah.
It tells you the whole story. So I don't know why we sit down and listen. If you're in opposition, you can say anything, but keeping the lights on
is a problem.
Keeping the lights on is not a technical issue. It's not just a financial issue. It's attitudinal too. You have to wrong some people. You have to rebuke some people. You have to deal with. It comes with this.
It's a lot of things.
Yeah. So now
that's
it's
what
time
mean
to keep the lights on. Hydra-headed. Yes.
It has many heads. When you cut one, another comes. Ofosu-Dotte said something I like today. He's a very wise man. He said, in every problem there's a solution, but every solution also creates another problem. I thought that was quite interesting. Yeah, so then he said unity means acting together, not acting alone as one. All right, now let me go to the next issue. Or you want to read a few more comments on the power?
Well, I mean, once they are pouring, we can
just read a few more because I want to go to the road sector next.
Okay, so this one says
today we are doing sector by sector analysis today. So today, John Jinapo, you are the first minister I'm calling.
We see power outage.
We need a clear statement from the agencies under you on the power situation. So please direct ECG, Gridco, and VRA to come together and issue a well-coordinated statement on the power situation. So that's my assignment for the minister. Can we go to the next topic?
This one says, okay, let's go to the next.
I want to move to roads.
Okay, so traveling from Accra to Kumasi is a nightmare.
All right.
This is a publication in the BNFT of today.
Okay.
You find it on page 2. It's a news desk report. And it says the Accra-Kumasi Highway, a strategic economic corridor linking the nation's two most economically significant cities, is drawing renewed concern as deteriorating road conditions compromise commuter safety, disrupt economic activity, and pose potential health crisis for the country. Now, despite its status as the country's most traveled roadway, sections of the highway remain in despair, characterized by incomplete construction works, large potholes, and uneven surfaces. Now, as a result, the route has become a choke point for both commuters and freight transporters. There's a quote here that says the stretch from Amasamam area through to Nsawam in the eastern region is terrible. Some parts have been graded, but others remain untouched. The potholes, some so deep, they resemble manholes, force drivers to swerve repeatedly, increasing the risk of accidents. They are quoting Felix Oseikufo, a licensed optician and regular user of the route. He was speaking to the BNFT. Now, while the remainder of the highway from Nsawam Junction through Suhum, Chebi, or is it Kibi Junction?
It's Chebi.
Okay.
Chebi,
they've written it Chibi, Kibi, yeah, the whites. And Osino is reportedly in good condition. Isolated sections under active construction, including a stretch from Osino, where a bridge is being built, continue to hamper seamless travel. Now, these bottlenecks reflect a broader concern that infrastructure improvements along this vital route remain uneven. Now, commuters say economic implications of the deteriorated segments are far-reaching. The Accra-Kumasi road serves not only as a key travel route, but also a major channel for moving goods and services between the country's southern and northern zones. Agricultural produce from the Ashanti and eastern regions, manufactured goods from Accra and Tema, and commercial freight all depend on the road's efficiency. There's a quote here that says that the people in charge don't experience what we go through, said Akosia Mensima, a trader and long-time resident of Osino. They glide over the worst parts of the road in their air-conditioned V8s, escorted like royalty. That's a move. Now, meanwhile, the rest of us sit in traffic for hours, dodging potholes that could swallow a wheel. Now, if they had to ride in a trotro or taxi like we do, this road would have been fixed long ago, unquote.
Right.
According to reports to transport union representatives, delays caused by the poor road conditions result in increased fuel consumption, higher vehicle maintenance costs, and reduced productivity.
Wow.
It goes on to talk about some other things. Do you want me to go there too?
What I want to ask listeners is, when was the last time you went by road from Kumasi to Accra or Accra to Kumasi, and how long did it take you? I want you to share your experience with me. We drove from Accra to Suhum. It was a pretty fast journey, but we spent almost 45 minutes on a very bad patch between Pokuasi and Nsawam, which is because the road was being done. But I'm told that now what used to take 3 to 4 hours to get to Kumasi, even if you get there in 5 hours, you are lucky. But I'm not sure. So what I'm asking listeners is, when was the last time you did Accra Kumasi route, and how long did it take you? In the meantime, here's a report that Philip Nilate put together on Accra Kumasi Road.
The Minister of Roads and Highways, Governor Kwame Agboja, on April 5, 2025, embarked on a tour on the Ofankor to Nsawam Road to check the level of work. Mr. Agboja wasn't so much enthused about what has been done on the Ofankor to Nsawam project after receiving several complaints from road users about the deplorable nature of the road. Work on the road stalled as a result of some illegal issues and financial problems. The minister noted that contractors, that is Maripoma Enterprise Limited, should immediately resume work. It looks like work has started on the project. The over $340 million project, which began on July 20, 2022, was initially scheduled for completion by July 20, 2024. However, the contractors have been unable to meet the expected completion date due to key challenges encountered during the course of the project. Once completed, the 33.4 kilometer rehabilitation project will feature major infrastructure components, including a railway bridge, pedestrian underpasses, footbridges, an interchange at Amasaman, and flyovers at Pobiman and Ajin Kotuku. Although construction is ongoing, motorists continue to face difficulties due to the poor condition of the road. The stretch becomes extremely dusty during the dry season. However, at the time of filing this report, it had turned muddy as a result of recent rains. Many drivers are forced to visit car washing bays immediately after traveling along the Ofankor to Nsawam Junction Road. In some cases, if unlucky, a trip to the mechanic becomes necessary after navigating the rough terrain.
So far, I'm going to say that delay mine because the cars na SSN every I just saw 1 month tobacco shop where I was always snap by any more every we maintenance and but also Janet area within 2-3 months in the cars no be can be but at least 1 month need maybe as always in any market to go. Yes, I used a week be and I said 2 weeks the shop maintenance road in the delay we almost stop here between 2 weeks and almost a bus.
And my seconds. When you intend to my because we in terms of job, you have to tell my union. Ama, according to some idea, Bokwame. Says as an idea. Come to be who sana. So pass all the driver, you know, and Yaneti. If I answer about some go by, you say we are on a bus.
And some Ofankor Road. Today I drove from Achimota to Amasaman, and I realized that from Pokuasi to Amasaman, the road is too bad. So the contractor should do something about it. It's very, very, very bad. It's almost unmotorable. I think the contractor should come on the road and fix it for us. Today I fell into a very deep gutter. I thought it was just something shallow, but when I entered in, I realized that it's very deep. So if it's something that I use every day, then I'll be in a big trouble. Meaning always I must buy, I'll be buying spare parts almost every week.
Work has fully resumed on the Ofankor to Nsawam Junction Road. Joining me is the resident engineer on the project, Engineer Thomas David Arthur.
So, the contractor came back to site on the 6th of April. Yes, and as you can see, he's active at most of the fronts on the stretch of the road. Yeah. So, well, earthworks is going on at some sections beyond kilometer 9. Yes, and then sub-base works, cement stabilized, where works are also going on. You can see the contractor also working on some of the footbridges that were in the state of partial completion. Yeah, so he's trying to finish them. It is coming back. We are very soon going to see a better improvement on the road.
The Member of Parliament for Amasaman, Sedem Apenyo, says the resumption of work on the stretch is a step in the right direction.
For some few months ago, we were not too happy about the condition of the road. But after speaking to the road minister, he visited a construction site. He encouraged the contractors to come back on road. And for about 2 weeks now, I can see the contractor is back on road. And work has started. So what I see is that they've tried to reshape the road a little. They do the dust suppression, so we don't see much dust as we used to see. So let me say for some time now, let's say for the past 2 weeks, we've seen much improvement.
Resident engineer on the project, Engineer Thomas Arthur, has urged motorists to remain patient, assuring them that contractors are working hard to make the road motorable and to complete the project as soon as possible.
We will still plead with our road users, yes, to exercise restraint, yes, and be tolerant, yeah. But very soon, all those bus sessions, that's the area the contractor is going to tackle now. So they will be enjoying better riding conditions on the road.
So right now the contractor has resumed fully?
Yes, he has resumed fully. He has resumed fully. You can see in our yard, the vehicles which were previously parked are no longer here. You know, they are all on the ground, very busy and active. The contractor has shown, some commitment. Yes, he has managed to resource the works. So something serious is now going on the road.
Driving on the Ofanko to Insam Junction Road is a daunting task. Work on the road had halted for some time, but the contractors have now resumed operations. They are hopeful that a substantial portion of the work will soon be completed. Meanwhile, they are appealing to road users to exercise patience. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I am Philip Latte.
3 minutes to 9. This is the Citi Breakfast Show's Friday edition, and we are responding to consumer or listener concerns started with the power sector. I know a lot of you are complaining about the power situation, and some of you are even insisting that there's doomsday going on. We will get clarity on that for you. Next issue is the road sector, and my question this morning is, how long does it take you to drive from Accra to Kumasi, particularly for people like Samens who don't like short haul flights? So if you have a female in Kumasi, and you know Kumasi traditionally has been 3.5 to 4 hours. Now I'm told that it is, even if you do 5 hours, you are lucky. That now Kumasi is even 6 hours, sometimes 7. Now we are using the Ofanko in Sawam Road as the connection, but I'm sure there are other issues as well. So maybe we can deal with the Pokwasi Road, which we used on Monday. Quite a difficult road to use, very annoying as well. And the thing that even annoyed me the most, Sky, you have this huge road they are doing, then they leave like a huge middle part. They just cordon it off and leave it there, and they leave 2 lanes for those going and 2 lanes for those coming. And you ask yourself, what's the point in doing this? I'm sure the engineers have a reason for doing it, but it's quite tough. Now, send me a comment on how the drive from Accra to Kumasi and back, or Kumasi to Accra, has been. How many hours did you spend? 054-998-6996. When was the last time you drove to Kumasi?
It's been a while.
Year. So this year I haven't?
This year I haven't been to Kumasi.
How was the drive last year?
It wasn't that good. And we keep getting surprises on this road. Now, when you are approaching Konongo, you should be ready for some 30 minutes traffic inside Konongo and Odumaso.
Because you go through the Konongo town.
Yes. You know, it didn't used to be the case. You have Konongo traffic, and then when you are getting to Ejusu, you have the traffic.
I have a question for you.
That, so.
You know, in Sawam used to be like that too, until they did a bypass. As a leader, you have to balance free ease of traffic and also economic activity. Some people think that when you do these bypasses, the towns lose business.
Well, that's a fact.
So which one? How do you balance that?
Well, it's a decision. I mean, it's not only in Sawam that has suffered this. Chebi has also suffered this.
When they did
people forget that many years ago, the STC from Kumasi to Accra, the stop were two places. One, Enyinem, when you are going to Accra, and then Chebi. Okay, so Chebi, when you are going to Kumasi or Accra, I mean, Chebi had the STC mandated stop where they stop for people to get down and eat. And then Enyinem too had one. I forget the name of the restaurant. And now we have had to bypass Chebi because of construction.
It has affected the vibrancy of the place.
It will. I mean,
it was a big issue.
It will. I mean, it's in Sawam wouldn't be as hit because you see the distance, the channeling of the traffic is not too far from Sawam. So as you can see, people have moved. The bread sellers have come moved to the other side. Okay,
and Sawam is growing so fast. And the other thing, Sawam is growing so fast. So this is a very interesting point. So you're saying that Konongo traffic can delay you for half an hour.
Yeah.
Which means that the sensible thing to do is to do a bypass.
Well, the bypass is a financial decision. I mean, it wasn't that let's do a bypass. I think the reconstruction, they look at the there's a word they use in the operations, you know. So they look at the distances and the parts that will give them the best route, and then the funding are conditioned on these parts.
Let me push you. Can you not do a dual where you say like Kasua, you do a flyover through the center of Kasua, and yet the people who still want to go to Kasua. So Kasua is no longer a bottleneck.
But that's what Kasua has done.
That's what I'm saying. But can't they do that for Konongo?
Oh,
so you go through the town.
I think it can be done.
Yeah, that's the best solution.
It can be done. I mean, it is a money issue, as I keep saying. You know, diverting is taking livelihoods away from the community, which means that then they will have to move to where the traffic is. Okay, but what we fail to realize is that it's only a matter of time. The congestion will move to the same place. Look at Kaswa. We did a beautiful flyover. Where did we end up taking the traffic? To Budubiram.
No, Budubiram, yes.
Budubiram. Now we are pushing the traffic. Now when you are going, there's traffic getting to Winneba
Junction. So Winneba, what are they doing at Winneba Runabout?
They are rebuilding.
So will they do a flyover?
I think it's one of the.
Speak up, I can't hear you.
It's one of the things discussed.
So when they do Winneba, then where will the traffic go?
Well, you see, if you keep doing these things without slip roads, you are just deferring the traffic.
So the slip roads are the ones that allow those who are going to the town to actually do what they have to do. Then those who are traveling will go over.
Precisely. And if you don't do the internal roads, even in the various towns along the main highways, you are just compounding the problems.
So back to Accra Kumasi, on your way, you had about 30 minutes in Konongo. So that was the main bottleneck, apart from the rough road in the Pokwasi side. Yeah. So it means you didn't spend more than 5 hours then.
The last time I went to Kumasi, no, I mean, the 5 hours, 6 hours thing is normally public transport. Okay, because they stop and all these things.
Okay.
But generally, it will take you between 5 and 6 hours.
Let's look at Nkoko too. You know, in the past, as well, when you are going to Kumasi,
same
you pass through Nkoko, but now they've done a bypass. But Nkoko is fairly okay. It's still a vibrant
town. You see, Nkoko is a major center, major Kwewu center. So all those up the mountain
have to converge there before they go.
So they have
the traffic already
considerably high active economic environment. The Accra Kumasi traffic would only add to it. Okay, and so Nkoko wouldn't have been as deprived as the other towns.
I get your point.
Okay, Konongo, I don't even know what they can do with it. I don't know what the plan is.
Yeah.
But as things stand now, the roads are under pressure.
Seriously,
the roads are under pressure. You have all sorts of vehicles using the road. All sorts. Now the vehicles going into the Sahelian region, they all use.
And their trucks looks funny.
Yeah, their trucks generally
are a bit wider. Yeah,
generally are wider.
Be able to move a lot more goods.
Yes.
To the northern part of
and it's affecting our roads.
Seriously,
Thomas, go to Tema. The last time I was in Tema, I was weeping for the country.
Why?
This is the port city, the biggest port city we have. It's a major entry point. It's moving a lot of goods from that city to the northern part of the country, and then also to other parts of the country, and then to Mali and all these other. Bernard, the roads in Tema, particularly the port, from the port,
the harbour,
exactly, to the runabout that connects you to Michelle Camp, Accra,
it's bad.
What do you call it, Ashaman? Horrifying.
Yes, from the
I know
port.
they are doing some work towards the Shaman runabout, but Bernard, it's
so
annoying that this possibility. I mean, is it that we are not charging the people for using?
When you get to the Valco runabout, there's even one road that takes you to Bone. Charlie, the road is so bad.
No.
Temapao.
Yes.
It's terrible. So let's do Accra Kumasi comments. Sky, help me.
Okay, so this one says, "Good morning, Bernard."
Yes.
I spent almost 7 hours from Accra to Kumasi.
Were you driving?
5 hours from Kumasi to Accra. I use VIP in and out. It's
the point I'm making.
So they are
do you know how much it costs? Do you know how much it costs to pay a VIP ticket to Kumasi? Someone should tell me. I want to compare that to flying.
150 thereabout.
Like 150. And when you fly it, with how much?
Oh,
Okay,
flying,
when you
it
fly
depends.
there,
It depends.
yeah.
It's between 1,500 and 2,000 now.
What my concern is, whilst we discuss roads, we should also see it as an advantage to develop our air travel.
Train, bro.
Train.
Air travel?
Train.
Yeah.
For what? What air travel not do anything
Train,
to us?
bro.
If you are going to a funeral in Kumasi, you can go by air.
It will not tackle the problem. I'm telling you.
You think the price will not come down?
The only thing that will change the equation is real transport.
You are sure of this?
I'm telling you.
If we bring 3 more
and I'll
airlines
repeat it,
into the domestic
it won't
space,
change anything.
it won't bring prices down.
It is just for the comfort of a few rich people.
So it's not mass. Air cannot be mass transport.
How can it be mass? How can it be mass? Why do you think that our rail networks terminated in our markets?
Because that's where the people go to.
Precisely. In Kumasi, when we're doing sleeper, sleeper, the train that you sleep, where you go in the night and by morning you are in Accra, you will go and board the train near Kumasi job.
So rail is the solution to this, not air.
Air is no solution to anything.
Oh, you sure?
Oh, I'm telling you.
It's people who can afford it who will use it.
I thought that if you increase competition, the price will come down and more people can fly.
Bernard,
yes.
Rail network solves many problems.
So the road traffic, the road deterioration, cargo, food, timber carting, minerals.
It's the missing link for our Greek transportation in agriculture.
So even agriculture.
Yes. You look. What if we had real transport from here all the way to Bolgatanga? Would we then need those huge trucks to travel all the way from Burkina and come and destroy our roads? And so we don't have tolls. So you don't even pay tolls.
So you put the thing from Tema to Bolga, then they can continue with their thing.
That's why they tried the Impakadan network. That will take you to the Volta Lake.
Then so the plan was put it on a Volta and go.
And then the Volta Lake transportation will now take it up north. And then
stay with that point. So your idea is that, let's assume you have goods coming into Ghana that you are sending to Niger. Put it on a rail from Tema to Mpakadan, which is in the Akwemu area. Put it on the
Volta Lake.
And then send it to where? Buipe or where?
Wherever.
Then from there you continue.
Exactly.
So the water transport was the problem. I was speaking to some engineer who was telling me that the tree stumps, again catch 22. The tree stumps can affect water transport. But if you cut them, the tree stumps also, apparently, the fish, they need and I may be wrong here.
They feed on the
they
roots.
Feed on the roots. So if those who fish on the volta, they want you to keep the tree stumps because this is how the fish grow.
Yeah, but you see.
So if you if you cut, if you remove the tree stumps to enhance water transport, you are also affecting somebody's fishing industry.
We will not be the only country that would have to deal with tree stumps. You don't weed off every plant organism in the water. That's not how you do it. You determine the pathway for transportation and then you clear it. That's how it's done. That's how it's done everywhere. You don't go and say that, Charlie, everything that looks like a tree we are coming to. How do you survive? No. So it's a scientific thing.
Let me push you on this. I remember in the 90s, I listened to the radio. Those days there used to be a lot of Volta Lake disasters, and then Rollins kept talking about we have to remove the tree stumps, and I think they did some feasibility on that. But I haven't heard that in the past 20 years a lot. Is it that economically removing tree stumps is not viable? Is it that the cost of doing it versus or is there a question of integrating the water transport into why has that conversation died?
Why should that be our problem? Why should that be a government problem? Government is supposed to create the enabling environment. There are companies out there who want to venture into this business.
The real water transport.
Yes. There are companies that want to venture into this business. But everybody wants some kind of cut, someone money.
That's the problem.
That's it all. Volta Lake Transport started this way. At some point, Volta Lake Transport was seeded off VRA. I don't know whether it's back now.
So they are like, I don't know, it's a
I don't know whether it's back now.
Yeah.
There was a white guy who was
running it
at
yes.
some point.
Yes.
You know, that thing back and forth. But it's clear, if we don't learn how to integrate rail transport in our transportation mix, we will take loans and build roads.
To never solve the problem.
Never achieve our objective.
So your point is, there's no point. You can't build more roads to solve a transportation problem.
No country has done that. The whole world, not one country has done this.
So you need integration.
Integrated
and
approach.
For you is rail and then water and rail.
Yes.
In addition to the road.
Precisely.
I'll take some comments on that. I just wanted to ask one final question. If and for listeners who travel to the north and up, if there was a vessel that was taking you up north via rail water, would you take it? He's saying that it's more for cargo. It's more for food, because he believes that once you diversify the traffic on the road, let human beings sit in cars on road, put timber and put food on the rail and the water, so that the heavy duty usage of our roads, which destroys the road, will stop. Because the water will not complain that the goods are too heavy, neither will the rail complain. And by that too, you save money in road maintenance. So it's not even for human transportation. So hold that thought. Sky, I just want to read a few comments for me while we discuss the issue of why building more roads is not the solution to transportation. Oh my God. 054-998-6996. Some of this has to do with Accra Kumasi Road, but we're also discussing integrated transportation. Sky.
Okay, so let me take you to more comments that are coming in. This one says, good morning, Bernard. VIP to Kumasi is 120 Ghana cedis. You must be ready to spend 6 hours.
Oh Lord.
And 30 minutes on the road. First with VIP it was 5 hours, but now it's 6 hours 30 minutes. This was Bernard. Please tell Uncle Sam that Accra Kumasi round trip now costs you about 3,000 Ghana.
That's air transfer.
Which is why you are saying that
that's 1,500
in and out.
So
the
round trip is. So
but that depends on when you buy the ticket. If you are traveling today, you go and buy the ticket. There's no way you get it 1,500.
So it's more expensive.
No, you have to plan.
Air is not the solution.
That's right. You need to plan ahead of time.
So let's stay with the comments then.
This one says, Bernard, how many of us Ghanaians can afford flight fares, even if it's 500 Ghana cedis?
We are just asking.
As the man said, it won't even tickle the situation.
Oh Lord.
Fua is laughing.
Ampofua.
Ampofua. Okay. Ampofua. This one says, Express train from Accra to Kumasi must be considered. Train is a solution to mass transportation problems.
Train is a solution
Yes.
to mass transportation problems.
This one said, Bernard, I went to Kumasi last month. We left Accra at 10 p.m. And we got to Kumasi at 6 a.m.
Oh, how?
What? I regretted it.
Oh,
How
how?
is that?
Even in the night too?
At least you got there. Bernard, we are joking with things in this country.
10
p.m. pa, you got there at 6 a.m.
Lagos, our sister country, has built a working
expressway.
I'm telling you, let's not even be too ambitious.
Really?
By talking about express rail, let's not go there. We want normal rail.
I think they have Abuja to Kaduna now.
The reason we don't need express rail, it won't solve our problem.
We need mass movement of people.
Because the person that boarded the train in Accra is only stopping first in Amasaman.
Yeah, but sometimes
you understand. So I'm just saying that I'm talking about the economic.
But let's stay with that point. Have you noticed that now, because of the way the Achimota Amasaman corridor has grown, if you outside the rail, there'll be a lot of stops. There'll be a lot of
That's
stops.
why I'm saying that the solution would be at this point line express.
Because
rail.
imagine those complaining about
working.
Stay with that. So somebody living at Amasaman, Sapeman, midyear, and he closes from work in Circle. He jumps on a train. He doesn't need to go through that crazy traffic. It's a straight
that real network will solve plenty problems, including accommodation problems. Why try getting a chamber in a hall in Accra? It's 1,500 to 2,000 cedis a month.
Which part of Accra is outside Accra? Then they all use some.
So if rail would have made it easier to live outside, it, but sometimes why
I can get a house in Nsawam for 500 cedis a month.
Why? Okay, let me push this point. It looks to me as if the politicians don't want to do rail because it's long term to do and they may not get the credit. So for example, usually if let's assume you are in power today, John Mahama is in power. Let's assume he starts a rail thing today. From the way it works, he probably finished by 2028.
Bernard,
it's
modular. It's modular.
So you do small.
Yes. So you and they have the blueprint. They have the overall rail transport network proposal there. It's sitting. I've seen it before. So you create modules and say that the first one is let's say Accra Nkoko. And let's finish Accra Nkoko
through Nsawam.
Now yes, such that the first phase of the first module of Accra and Cocoa, we know where it's going to serve. It's going to serve all the major cocoa areas in the eastern region.
So that also helps your transportation. So that also means then that when you are bringing in the cocoa to Tema, they can bring it by rail and then.
So either you do this or you put a consortium together. Okay. This is Ghana. This is the blueprint. This is what we want to achieve. There's a company from Greece. There's a company from Angola. There's a company from Turkey. 4 or 5 companies. Take different parts of it and let's start work.
And the government can generate demand by saying we'll ensure that. But of course, that means somebody's business may be affected. As Ofosu said, every solution creates a new problem. So, for example, once you bring the rail, there are companies who have invested in trucks for cocoa. So they may feel like their business is going to die.
No, Bernard, they can still have business.
You still think so?
But they can still, because they still do cutting from the point of delivery at the destination to the final
so
point.
It's a question of thinking. We are not thinking.
We can deceive ourselves. Look, not too long ago, maybe a lot of you were young. Our only overhead, we used to call it overhead bridge.
Circle.
The circle thing that we see there was the only flyover.
When you get there, you are in Accra.
You understand? Yeah. I remember when Gaddafi came to Ghana.
Yes.
We followed him. Small boys were chasing the man.
And when you got to circle,
we all to circle overhead. We are overhead. Today, what is overhead? What's a flyover?
Charlie.
By now, we should know that it won't solve our problems. Go to Tanzania. Go and see what is going on in Tanzania. Look, Ghana and Rio, Bernard.
You mean that even in Africa, you mentioned Nigeria. I've seen the Kaduna to, I think, Abuja one.
Yes.
Tanzania has also. I don't know if Kenya has done rail.
Kenya has rail.
Kenya has rail.
Ethiopia.
Has Cote d'Ivoire gotten rail?
I don't know.
Please check for me, listeners.
Senegal
has rail?
Yes, Senegal has. And these are recent additions.
So why we know if you do?
Because we don't want to.
But okay, they say we've done Accra to this one. Yeah. Is it working?
I don't know whether it has solved our problem. It has to be an ambitious plan. Look, Lagos to Ibadan.
Yeah.
It was the most difficult one for any government to think about.
Why?
Because the congestion in Lagos is real. It's real congestion.
And Ibadan to the plenty.
Talk about Ibadan. Before, when we travel from Lagos to Ibadan, it took, I think, 2 hours or so.
Was it before the expressway came?
No, the expressway came in the 70s. So Julius Berger.
Yes,
Julius Berger contractors did the expressway.
Correct.
The expressway, and I'm talking about where the expressway came fresh. It was 2 hours or so to get to Ibadan. If you want to go to Ilorin, it will take you 3-4 hours. You understand?
So this is Western Corridor you are talking now.
It got to a time people started taking off the materials. You know,
on the road.
The materials on the road, the metal bars and things. People were stealing the things.
Yeah.
You understand? And then the potholes started. Then the traffic started. Then the churches started moving out of Lagos into the Ibadan area, the outskirts.
So congestion.
And Nigerian churches are huge churches.
Yeah.
So Sunday when you are traveling out of Lagos, you can't because these are 50,000 member churches with their cars. Traffic chaka.
So what did they do?
Now that the thing is working.
They have a real.
Yes.
So Lagos, Ibadan have a real.
Yeah, they have it. But Ghana alone, we can't do real. Meanwhile, we are touting agric. Agric without transportation is concert party.
Charlie, let's take a break there. I like that. I like how I've energized you. I love it. Agric without transportation is concert party. Because even if the food is cheaply produced, transport will raise the price.
Yep.
Lack of transport will make the food get destroyed. Agric without transport is concert party. We are back on the road matter. This is the City Breakfast. It's a Friday edition. I'm here with Samantha and Richard Sky. We've just drunk 1 cup of tea and we are hyper like this. Afrakuma, bring another cup so that we can move the thing to the next level.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
As a busy professional, I struggled with back and neck strain from long hours at my desk. To improve my focus, productivity, and well-being, I sought expert advice from the CEO of Expert Office Furnish.
After being in the furniture business for 25 years, I can tell you 2 things that causes back pain in the workspace: bad sitting posture and not sitting on a good chair. I recommend to you the Genevia Beeper chair, the chair that helps you to sit right. When you don't sit right, it beeps for you to be able to sit right. The next will be the Enjoy chair. It takes every body shape and size. Buy a chair that will support your back and give you that comfort to be able to deliver on your job.
Expert Office Furnish offers molding furniture for comfort, productivity, and style. From seating to customized solutions, plus interior decoration services, they've got it all. Find them off the Atomic Hills Estate Road in Ashonman or call 0571 386602 on Facebook and Instagram at Expert Office Furnish.
Kids, no running. They grow up so fast.
Come here, guys. Who wants to watch their favorite show on GoTV?
Your family's favorite moments are made better with GoTV's shows. We've got loads of local, international, and kids channels, and all the football you need from the comfort of your home.
You can also watch your favorite shows wherever you are with GoTV Stream. Stick with GoTV and let's go together. GoTV. Love it.
Dear home, no interest for 2 years. Are you ready to step into your dream home? With Lakeside Estate's exclusive offer, you can own your own home in just 2 years with no interest payment. This offers you affordable payments, flexible home purchase plan, quality homes, and lifestyle change. Choose from a variety of beautiful homes in any of Lakeside Hills clusters. Your future awaits you. Imagine living in a home you love with the freedom to invest in your dreams without the burden of interest. As your CIMG Real Estate Company of the Year for the 4th time, we offer you hassle-free home acquisition. Call us today on 020-477-5043 or 020-477-5042. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Call us now to learn more and schedule a tour for our available homes. T&C supplied. Make your dream a reality. Lakeside Estate, quality homes for all.
It's heydays at the Junction Mall, and it's bigger, better, unmissable. From now until May 4th, the Junction Mall is a place to be for everything, from the hottest gadgets and appliances to fashion, food, and fun, all at up to 70% off. Shop and win amazing prizes. There'll be cultural displays, live band performances, Junction aerobics for the fit and fun, and kids paradise with face painting, boat rides, bumper cars, and so much more. Bring the family, grab your squad, and do not miss a single moment. It's not just shopping, it's heydays at the Junction Mall, and it's bigger and better than ever before. Follow us at the Junction Mall GH on Facebook and Instagram, or WhatsApp us on 0540-221-774 for more details. The Junction Mall. Join, explore, shop, enjoy.
So what goes into building quality structures? I mean, literally, what goes into it? Wujaf, you don't want to be sitting here somewhere worrying whether or not you did a really good job. It'd be a very simple equation. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, massa, forget it. Don't start cry. Menye, diamond cement has been providing builders, block makers, and construction companies that peace of mind for years. Diamond cement is 42.5 R grade cement. Unbeatable quality made right here in Ghana. And because we have your pocket in mind, we provide 32.5 R grade so that everybody getting on. No long talk, Jack. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, don't start. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrade, and Buipe, or call 0244-313-368 or 0540-111-978 or 0202-021-175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond.
Mom, please can I have some milk in my Milo? Have you tasted it? No, but I didn't see you add milk. Hey, taste it before you ask me any question. Hey, milk na chomu say. This is Milo all in one. Milo pampa, cocoa, malt, milk and show, everything is inside.
Milo All-in-One already comes with more milk. Just mix with water and taste the nourishing goodness of quality cocoa, malt, and more milk all in one sachet. Milo, the energy to go further. This advert is FDA approved.
Get ready to shop at the Ophir Market, your ultimate destination for the freshest, locally sourced farm goodies is here. All thanks to the vision of Honorable Samia Wuku, MP for Akuapem North. Join us for the thrilling second edition of the Ophir Market at the Amanokrom Community Park, right in the heart of the Akuapem North constituency, up the mountain. Mark your calendars for April 26, 2025 from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Dive into a world of fresh produce and unbeatable prices. We can't wait to welcome you. Come ready to stock up.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Our railway, Yaradua started the railway work. In fact, Obasanjo, for 16 years, you are reviving a railway that we should completely lay aside. A railway we're supposed to lay aside completely. In Lagos State, APC said today, we are working electronic railway. APC state government is running an electronic railway today in Lagos State. The federal government with all the billions of money in their hands are just reviving locomotive India engines for 16 years of democracy. 3 presidents. Why should we remain with PDP? Papa DC Pekin. Why should we remain in PDP? Poverty distributing people. We have seen poverty. I have not seen poverty that I have seen it in my life since I came. I am 52 years in this world today. I have not seen a misgoverned people before. I was 20 years when I lived in Kano. I lived my life in Kano. I live in Sokoto. This is in North Nigeria. I was born. When I married my wife, 91, I will enter motor night, go to Maya, come back by night bus. Don't know bus, night bus again in Nigeria. Courtesy of PD.
Kumasi, 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 Kumasi. But Shamo Mumwame and me place it Kadia Faka Kumasi. The credits endorsement in the friend, Mamma Niniano Wakati. Manante Vitama Baseko and me place it Kaku Kumasi. Mema Miaka baby Tebusha for will be a new walk Mukasi. But Shamo Mumwame is soon and now you didn't be a best started. Muhim Yasa, my brain won't catch it, then won't come and tiasi. Me wa fa so twem so hwe ne so me wa fem se ma pass it. Kumasi 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 Kumasi. Obinya madoye na me fa STC na ma fi Kumasi. Left so na ba ma me a wo pe kra wo de si me wo boase. Me ba ye bodo nkwa na be di ti mo amu hwe se na me so ate. Manante ma courage bidie ma kwaka me siase.
All right, so it's 9:29 and I just want to emphasize that this is really it may sound like a litany of complaints, but it's actually suggestions we are giving the government to emphasize railway in a more deliberate way. Because of the way we say it may seem as if we are just laughing and stuff, but it's actually basically saying building roads is great, but if the government does not diversify our transportation modes,
multimodal,
we will just be scratching the surface. And the point we are making is that railway and water transport are very important additions, and particularly because we have a new government who are in their nascent stage. This is the best time to do it because, you know, usually the first year is when the government sets out its priorities. So we are strongly urging the government to consider a rail from Accra to Kumasi, at least to make sure it's functioning. In addition to the Accra Mpakadan one, Tema Mpakadan one that was done, we're also urging the government to strongly get people into the Volta Lake transport as a means of reducing the pressure on our roads when it comes to carting of goods. So I don't want you to see this as just a litany of complaints. There's actually a lot of suggestions coming through that the government should be bold to explore water transport and rail transport. Now, we are not absolving the road minister and saying that he shouldn't focus on roads. He needs to do the roads, right? So don't misunderstand the point that Samen is making, that roads don't solve. He's not saying leave the Accra Kumasi road the way it is. He's saying that do the road, but if you really want to, because by the way, what's the purpose of a road? It's movement. We are moving human beings and goods. So if you want to enhance economic efficiency in agriculture and trade, you cannot have trade without infrastructure. So please don't misunderstand the point. He's not saying that the Minister of Roads should not invest in roads. There's already a 21 billion CD debt he has to find money to pay in terms of finished projects. Another 105 billion CDs he has to find money in terms of commitments. Now, some priority must be given to other modes of transport, which is the point that we are making on the program. And I really don't want people to go home misunderstanding the thrust of the submission so far. It's very, very important that I summarize this. Guy, read a few comments for me, and then we will move on with the discussion.
Okay, so this one says, greetings, Papa and the team. Please, we should go back to the railway system. It is the only way to fix our problems. Coming in from a citizen who says he's concerned. Good morning, Bernard. The last time I used the Accra Kumasi road was in February of this year. We set off around 10:30 a.m. and we got to Kumasi around 4 p.m. That's even on 2M Express. The cost was 120 Ghana cedis. It's coming in from Wofa J in Akweteman. This one from Kweku says, Bernard, if rail existed, rent will even come down. That's the cost of rent. Now, I will live in Cape Coast and come to Accra to work every working day. This one from Ebenezer in Accra says, Bernard, last month I went for a workshop in Kumasi with STC or on STC after Linda door. The car, the what?
The car drunk more than 50 gallons of water.
That's where I was wondering. The car drank more than 50 gallons of water. Finally, the STC broke down, and we had to resort to Trotro to Kumasi, which cost more money. It's coming in from Ebenezer.
The STC car couldn't cope with the Kumasi road.
Gideon in Belgium says, good morning, Bernard.
Morning.
The problem is that most politicians have VIP buses and trucks. So the rail system will ruin their businesses. I live in Belgium. Sometimes I park my car and I take the train and I get to my destination. It works.
Mm.
This one says, I've always wished we had a railway system like in Moscow. So, for instance, in Moscow, as a great city of the world, they have the muscles to construct better roads. Still, they use their subways, and that works for them. China can construct the roads and take over the ticketing for at least 20 years. Basically, he's proposing a operate and
transfer. Yeah.
For real.
For real.
This one says, Cements is absolutely right. Our leaders should listen to him. Ghana is not going anywhere with... Okay, so basically, she believes
without rail transport.
Yeah, so you want to say without rail transport. That's what you want to say. Robert Antieku is sending that in from the UK. And this one says, good morning, Bernard.
Morning.
There is a rail line from Abidjan to Ouagadougou.
Okay.
It's been there for the past 30 years. It's coming in from Razak in Paga. And this one says,
so Abidjan to Ouagadougou?
Yeah.
And it works?
Yeah.
So why isn't there one from Accra to Ouagadougou?
Because we don't want it.
Oh, Charlie.
We don't want it. We want to go and do Metro Mass. Then somebody will be given the contract. Then the thing come. Then 1 year is not working again. Then somebody else will come and me too. I want to go to India and bring my own. We check. We say concert party. They try say pam pam.
Continue.
Good morning, Bernard. I entreat you to watch this documentary titled "The Men Who Built America."
Okay.
You see clearly that America was built by rail. Rail would automatically open up thousands of opportunities and save our roads. We just need to add serious rail patrol. Jeremy sending that in from Adentan.
Okay.
And this one says that trains are the key. Each length of train can have carriages for both commercial and human transportation. It is even a great tool for tourism. Dear Citi CBS, an Indian co-worker told me Ghana is doing what the Indian government did for years. Built more roads and but never solved the traffic congestion problem. He was amazed. We don't even use our vast water resources, including the sea, for commercial passenger and cargo transport. It's coming in from me in airport. And this one is a long one from David in Adentan. Says, Dear Bernard and team, I'm pleased to hear that you use the Ofankon Saom Road, even though it's currently under construction. The dust is indeed quite unpleasant, but it's good to see that progress is being made on that road. I believe measures will be taken to make the road more motorable and to dampen it to mitigate the dust issue. Additionally, the road from Media to Papase, passing through Ajin Kotoku, is in a horrible condition. This area is home to several important facilities, including the Onion Market, Accra Composite Site, the vaccine manufacturing plant, and the petroleum industry, amongst others. It's concerning that the road is nearly impassable.
Oh, Charlie.
More comments coming in. This one from Wisdom in Osu says, good morning, Bernard.
Morning.
And the team. I did a trip from Osu to Ejisu for a wedding last week, Saturday. The road is in a very, very, very bad state. I ended up busting my tire and I got my rim damaged. It took me 5 hours, 15 minutes to get to my destination. And this one from Joso, Sheikh from Joso, says, Bernard and crew, traveling from Kumasi to Accra is a hellish situation and it's not romantic anymore. Sometimes it's like you are traveling outside the country. The authorities and engineers should speed up the construction of the road so that we can live a normal life. This one from Eric.
This from Jaso. Asante Action.
All right. Let me read a few here. Good morning, Bernard and team. Senegal has rails and their trains are superb with varying classes just like airlines, economy, seat, business, etc. And they are still building more. Senegal is doing quite well. You can stay in Dakar without using cars. Taxi drivers and even those selling by the roadside accept Momo for their services via Orange Money or Wave. A good model to learn from. This is coming from my friend KGB. Razak's text you read already. Another one says, Bernard, infrastructure is what opens up economic zones. No matter the resources available in a particular area, it's useless without infrastructure. Kenya has a very functional rail service where you can travel luxury comparable to flying business class. Senegal has a similar efficient model. This is Maurice Kwanzaa sending this message in. Let me go to Facebook. Here are some comments. James Abir says, Bernard, the Accra Kumasi Highway is anything but that. Most portions of the road are very, very bad. Konongo, Enyenem, and Osino traffic takes you 2 hours of total travel time. Nana Osei Kweku Enoch says most of the roads are damaged and it's risky. It affects absorbers and tires. I have blasted my 2 tires on this Kumasi Accra road in a month. Kudos to you. Goy Lolonyo says Konongo traffic is very bad. I was so upset when I traveled to Kumasi recently. When I used to live at Konongo more than 20 years, it wasn't like that. More comments. David Obeng from Adenta. If you have trains and they move say 100 kilometers per hour, why go waste time at the airport? Check the time spent at the airport. Rail is the best means of transport. Samuel Kobina Edu, Bernard, there's a company called the Volta Lake Transport Company Limited, which carts fuel and goods from Akosombo to Buipe. The company is also able to transport 5 million liters in per voyage and 48,000 bags of cement at a go. The issue is with policy. So this water thing is true. Seth Ado also believes that rail is the solution. 3,000 away fans filled stadia during Premier League matches. Without trains, this can't be possible.
They just disperse like that. You within 5, 10,
Yes.
20 minutes.
And you notice that
the
the trains pass through the stadium or close to the stadium because they've used it to do more comments. Mr. Noy says, Bernard, I think there's a bypass of Konongo under construction a little after the cement factory close to Bomford Junction from Kumasi. And this is from Mr. Ben Noy. I
want to read this one for you quickly. It says, just take a trip to visit La Côte d'Ivoire, where my office is, and you will witness a practical infrastructural development, including workable road networks. Few years back, we, the Ghanaians, thought our country was much developed than La Côte d'Ivoire and other bordering nations. Unfortunately, we are behind in the area of infrastructural development on the West Coast currently. We sincerely need to sit up.
So a listener said that his friend did a master's thesis titled A Future of Metro Services, Enhancing Ghana's Metro Road Through Integrated Transportation. And he says, Ben, it will shock you to read about the findings and the architectural proposals. After graduation, his work is just sitting on his laptop. The question is, when will we start engaging these projects to solve these problems? Luckily,
no, that's Kasim.
Yes,
Khalifa.
Good.
So it's one of our boys actually.
So I got it from Alfred.
So he's a mate of Grant.
Okay, so Kasim did a rec for his thesis on a future of metro services. I'm going to ask him to share some highlights of his work with us to enrich the discussion. Kasim, this one, they have called you off duty to come and talk on air. Thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Thanks for having me.
When did you do this project, and what is the title of the work you did?
I did this project 2023, and the title is Future for Metro Services in Ghana. Enhancing Ghana's metro rail through integrated transportation. And then, because the background is architecture, it's an architectural thesis, we are looking more into architectural solutions to in order to enhance the metro system. And then looking at this, the major thing is looking at it through integrated transportation. So that is what the thesis is about.
So this is for KNUST Architecture, I believe.
KNUST Master's Thesis.
Master's Thesis, College of Arts and Built Environment. So what do you mean by integrated transportation?
So looking at the rail system, it looks to be an ideal individual system in Ghana. So integrated transportation is looking at putting rail, road, and the other existing modes of transportation in Ghana together.
I see. So what was your major finding in terms of the viability of rail as a metro transport option?
Okay. So the main finding is the infrastructure upgrade. We need to upgrade the infrastructure by putting up major stations which incorporate all these modes of transportation. We are talking about buses, we are talking about the rail system itself, we are talking about all these Uber, everything into one station. This, if you do this way, we are looking at when you bring your car, you park, you travel rail, you go to Kumasi or wherever you are going to, you come back, take your car, go home. It makes everything faster. It makes the urban mobility in Ghana very effective in such a way that railway is a major transportation factor. It's a major system in urban cities. Without railway system, transportation doesn't work. And then the research tells you that all effective cities, all major cities in the world have incorporated the railway in it. You look at Nigeria, they are doing a good work. You look at other African countries, Morocco, and worldwide, railway is very, very crucial in the transportation sector.
Last point. So very, very interesting. So you notice when you travel to Western countries and you come through the airport immigration, you would notice that all the options of transportation are available. So you see the tube, you will see rail, you will see buses, you will see taxis and Ubers, and then private cars. When you come to Kotoka, you will basically see people waiting with their private cars and a few taxis. And I suspect that your work is saying that it's possible within one space to have all those transportation systems available and working together, and you can design a space to contain all without it causing a bottleneck. I believe this is what your work is trying to show.
That is exactly what my work is about. So that is what the thesis is about. I looked at how we can put all this together, and then I proposed a facility that has all these components together. So the thesis looks like putting all, I have buses, taxis, bicycles, even trotro, and the railway together as one component.
Send it to me. I would love to read it, and hopefully we can have a chat about it again. So thank you very much. So that was a master's graduate from the KNUST, Kasim Khalifa Mohammed, who has put together very interesting work, a future of metro services.
I have it. I'll send it to you.
Wonderful. And integrated. I think as you were speaking, I thought about that. So when you travel to most advanced countries, and you know what's funny about Ghana? I went to pick a friend from the airport last week. All of us are waiting there in our private cars to put the person in to go home. A few people take taxis. When you go to many advanced countries, you don't need that level of people.
It's actually punitive. It's actually punitive for you to take your own car there. You are paying premium to take your own car into the airport.
When I was in the UK, when I'm going to the airport, I join a bus. At some point, I join a train. And sometimes the train takes me straight to the airport. I come off the train. And there are times when, in fact, someday I almost got lost. I was coming to your place. We took a bus straight from the airport. So it's doable. My point though comes back to the bottlenecks. I think there are two, if not three. I think money is an issue in terms of the pressure. For example, the road minister was telling reporters last 2 weeks that he needs 105 billion to pay people commitments. Then there's also the question of the length of time it takes to do the rail. We already addressed that in terms of the modal. But the money is a big issue. Because rail costs a lot.
The money is not the issue.
Okay.
It's our priorities that is the issue.
Can you explain?
Wrong priorities, that is the issue. As we sit here now, we have committed 105 billion cedis in contracts
for roads.
Okay.
Mostly previous administration.
Yeah, I'm saying we as a country, we've committed.
Of course.
Out of that, 21 billion is owed physically.
They finished the work.
You mentioned billions like it's good.
It's billion, yeah.
Billion cedis.
So 105. So 105 billion in commitments, 21 billion in
that we owed in actual fact.
Correct.
So what I'm saying is that if we had our priorities based on our situation, we wouldn't have given only road contracts worth 105 billion.
Do we know how much the Accra and Pakadam cost? It would have been good to compare.
Bernard, it's not every project. It's not every project that you need to go and take a loan.
Okay.
There are some that you need a grant. There are some that you need relationships. There are some that private people are prepared to build
and then manage
it.
And then
it's a combination of several. But if we believe that in order for us to move to the next stage of our development, rail transport is a key factor. That's what I'm saying, that if you had 100 billion cedis, definitely you are going to use part of that one to commit to railway development. And I'm saying again that, look, the Greek ministry is looking good. The minister is upbeat about everything. If transportation fails,
it will fail him.
That's the end
because
of
it. Let me put it this way. I think you are right. You know, usually when you interview people who run Agric and they talk about their Agric interventions, one way of measuring if they are successful is not just the production but the cost of food.
Yeah.
Usually, the cost of food doesn't really come down because there's a missing link between production, storage, transportation, and end of market. So because transportation costs are so high, the food price inevitably gets higher. So I think the point Sam is making, that if this minister is focusing on this grow food feed Ghana thing, and the connected ministries don't make it easy for the food to get to market, there will still be food price hikes. And that will be a very unfortunate situation because the poor farmer may not even benefit from the increased production.
We are doing production. Look, everything they are talking about is about production, increasing production.
Yeah.
Which one is solving the perishability problem?
So that will be the storage and then the value addition.
We have never found a way to solve this thing, except quick transportation. Quick transportation. You understand? I did a quick survey in Agbogbosi market last week. Sky. The Agbogbosi market has tomatoes, has onions.
As fresh vegetables beyond tomatoes.
I spoke to maybe 20 to 30 market women. Of the 30 market women who were selling tomatoes and onions differently, only one was sourcing her tomatoes from Ghana.
Are you serious? When was this?
Only this Saturday, Saturday, yeah, this past weekend. Only one
out of the 30.
I'm telling you,
was sourcing.
They all bring the onions from Niger. They all bring the tomatoes from Burkina. Okay, now guess what is happening? There are new community states of Sahelian states thing. They have started blocking ECOWAS exports.
Serious?
Yes. They have curtailed all ECOWAS programs in these countries.
So who is going to eat their tomatoes for them? Because we have a big market.
No. They will start among themselves. What I'm saying is that
should be careful,
now that they are blocking, if we don't look sharp, not that it will affect us, because they are going to place tariffs on buying stuff from them. That's what it means. If you want to send things there, you are going to pay dearly, as is happening between Tanzania, Malawi, and South Africa today. So everybody is looking for their own.
There's a current trade war between those countries.
Yes, there is major trade war between Tanzania, Malawi, and South Africa.
On which products?
On agric products. South African grapes going to Tanzania has been blocked. Tanzania is not even taking plantains from Malawi anymore. They won't allow you. So I'm just saying that everybody, because people have woken up to the realities of the voting system in democracy, that at the end of the day, the people who vote for you are the ones who matter.
So so once farmers are affected by imports, the government has to.
Yes, but if you go to a market like Agbogbosi and every tomato you see there is coming from Burkina Faso, what have we done about our Greek? Not because we can't grow tomatoes, but because we have not paid attention to it.
You are saying a lot of things. Let's take our time. There's a lot more we can talk about. We just have 8 minutes. So I just want to read a few comments.
I want to mention something to you quickly about the Vulture Lake. So I saw this report, online, basically talking about how much it will cost to actually invest in this.
Real. Let me take a break and then you give me that information. in terms of the cost per water, transport, and rail. So give me 2 minutes. I'll be back. Sky, don't go. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Ready to advance your career? IS Evolutions Consult offers world-class training. Join our certified information systems auditor training in Accra from 28th April to 2nd May. In Dubai, elevate your skills with exclusive training, managing fraud in a digitalized world from 9th to 13th June. Fraud and forensic auditing, 23rd to 27th June. Advanced analytics with Arbitus, 7th to 11th July. Value for money audit, 18th to 22nd August. Call us on 02-4768-1899 or send us an email at info@isevolutionsconsult.com. IS Evolutions Consult, your partner for success.
Hi, Mom, it's me, Kwame.
Hey, Kwame, how are you?
Mom, I'm fine, oh.
Okay.
You know something?
No, tell me.
I'm looking for a complete furniture set for my new place.
Kwame, I've told you before, the only one place you should go, eh?
Yeah, Mom, but I need a mattress to fit my bed.
Ash foam.
I need a bed to fit my room.
Ash foam.
What about a sofa where go relax my body?
Ash foam.
Wardrobes to fit all my clothes?
Ash foam.
What about linens and pillows for sweet dreams?
Kwame, ash foam.
Mommy, I feel you. Ash foam all the way.
From mattresses to beds, sofas, wardrobes, linens, pillows, and more. Don't waste time and visit any Ashfoam showroom across the country or call our hotline at 0243 200 729. Ashfoam. Feel it, know it.
Mom, please can I have some milk in my Milo? Have you tasted it? No. But I didn't see you add milk. Hey, taste it before you ask me any questions. Hey, milk na chum say. This is Milo all in one. Milo pampa, cocoa, malt, milk and show, everything is inside.
Milo All-in-One already comes with more milk. Just mix with water and taste the nourishing goodness of quality cocoa, malt, and more milk all in one sachet. Milo, the energy to go further. This advert is FDA approved.
Burna Boy, Trevor Noah, Black Coffee, Chimamanda the writer, Febe Mugugu the fashion designer, and many more young African icons didn't get where they are by following mainstream paths. They did things differently. Say yes to doing things differently. Say yes to the creative person within you, the maker, innovator, entrepreneur. Chart a new path, learn new skills, globally recognized by the American Welding Society and Pearson's BTech. So whether in Ghana or abroad, you will shine. Say yes to DTI, a learning experience that is next level. Go to dtiafrica.com or call 054-169-3534.
Unbelievable is yours to own with DSTV. Get unbelievable local entertainment with Shaka Lemba, Nigerian Idol, and Big Brother Niger.
Unforgettable night.
Catch unbelievable sporting moments from the Premier League, La Liga, F1, and more.
Absolutely sensational.
Laugh along with unbelievable kids' edutainment like Paw Patrol. And experience unbelievable international shows like Law & Order and Lioness Special Ops.
Let's go!
Download the My DSTV app today and own the unbelievable.
Charlie, where are you?
Boss man, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Hey, dear Niham Sa. Stay soft concentrate fabric softener. I was such it move. Just send it this way. You are now watch. New Yanets now watch. No, baby, someone some demoni in us. Dear Niham say. For quiet, yes, in Biara Association Ontario. Use Stay Soft and New Yanets now watch. That you boss to tap from cry. A fabric softener. A year near say, sir. Choose to Stay Soft. No, who's so say, no. FDIG a getting crack to yet.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
We have just 2 minutes to go. If you're tired of HR headaches, simplify your business with Hot Jobs Africa as your one-stop shop, HR shop. We handle recruitment, labor outsourcing, expatriate management, consultancy services, and corporate training. We also offer staff busing, 100% staff support to boost productivity. Don't let HR hassles hold you back. Contact Hot Jobs Africa today. Call 0303-980-362 or go to info@hotjobsafrica.org by email or go to our website hotjobsafrica.org for more information. Hot Jobs Africa. Think HR. Think Hot Jobs Africa. ABV Foods is proud to announce the grand opening of our wholesale outlet Nexa Foods right here in Kwabenya near the community market. From now to end of month, come enjoy our special sales promotion on your favorite fresh, locally produced products. We've got ABV chicken in all your favorite cuts. We also have our famous mixed box with all the parts. Perfect for family meals or bulk buying. And we also have ABV jasmine rice in 1 kg, 5 kg, 10 kg, and 25 kg. Clean, aromatic, proudly made in Ghana. Call 0541 187 932. ABV Foods is proudly a taste of home. All right. If you can give me 2 quick bullet points on the point you were making before we close. Or you've closed that point. Okay, let me read 2 messages for you. 2 messages for you before we go. Bernard, a kilometer of rail investment is $7 million. You can use that to always multiply the distance. Private investors own the largest social infrastructure, roads, schools, hospitals globally. The challenges are that the private infrastructure investors are not comfortable investing here. Only 5% of global private infrastructure investment comes into Africa. This is because of poor regulatory environment, poor legal system, forex risk, and political risk. Don't forget, infrastructure delivery models are long-term, 30 years and more. No one wants to invest in an environment where their cash flow is not certain. Let's discuss this further. And then Bernard, the Mpakadan rail line was envisaged to carry cargo from Tema Port to Akosombo, Ajena Port, and then via the Volta River to Buipe, and vice versa. To invest $500 million in a rail line to carry passengers carrying hand luggage between Akosombo and Tema and paying a few cedis per trip is nonsense. So this is supposed to be cargo, and it cost us $467 million. All right, thank you, listeners. These are to scratch the surface and also to point listeners and duty bearers the way to go. Let's hope that duty bearers take action. My name is Bernard Avle. I was here with Richard Sky and Samens. City News at 10 with Ejubi. We are Fiakintin. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to City News at 10. I am